Peace, God.
Mars, chill.
Yes, sir.
Y'all don't look excited right now. Y'all not enjoying the NBA Finals?
I'm loving every bit of it, Ron.
I'm enjoying
They telling me that ratings are down, and I'm telling y'all missing some of the best basketball that's been around. This is some of the best basketball I've seen in a long time. I'm telling you, man, this is awesome basketball.
Yo, we got Jay from GOAT James Kingdom in the building. It's been a while since we had you up here, but I would like to hear your thoughts and feelings on this series, the NBA Finals. What you seeing?
Peace and blessings, y'all. What's good, man? Yeah, man. Listen, this is fun basketball, as Chilltown just explained. I'm loving it as a basketball fan, as an NBA fan. We're watching two good teams play team basketball, two good coaches making some good adjustments, some good coaching strategies being thrown out there. Great environment as well from the fan base, right? Both fan bases. That crowd last night was great. They were on their feet for the last 5 or 6 minutes of that game, for real. They didn't sit down. So it was a great game yesterday. And talking about what Jill says about the ratings, y'all didn't hear the commish yesterday? They put the commish on national television yesterday. And he checked everybody. He said ain't nobody watching nothing more than the NBA Finals right now. They have the top-rated program on television right now, and that's the NBA Finals.
Somebody lying to me, Jay. I don't know what it is. 1 minute y'all tell me that ratings are at an all-time high in the NBA, and then we get to the playoffs. You tell me that game one of the NBA Finals, only 10,000 less people watched the NBA. Only 10,000 less people watched the Super Bowl than game one. But then you tell me that ratings are down. Somebody lying to me. I don't know who it is, but somebody lying. I don't know what it is. Something's going on. But this is great basketball. I was wrong when I said Indiana's not winning another game. So okay, I'm clearly wrong about that. But I'm still gonna pick. I still think Oklahoma City is the better team in the series. I still think if they can just get back to what they were doing, I think that they win the series. But it's not going to be as easy, Ron, as I thought it was going to be. Let me rephrase that. How about
show of hands? Who's still doubting? Who's still in doubt?
About the Pacers or about what?
Yeah, of the Pacers
about the Pacers winning the NBA championship. That's what he's talking about.
Haven't you been doubting the Thunder too? No, I'm saying no. You've been doubting the Thunders too, right? People have been doubting the Thunder.
I don't think the Pacers are going to win. I wouldn't be surprised if Indiana won at this point.
This is a nasty angle by Ox, by you, by the way.
Ron,
I forget who you are.
Are you
depending on what you're saying,
now?
depending on the agenda. No, but look, I just want to say this. First off, I just got here. Good to see y'all. Good to see everybody up here. Hope you're having a spectacular day. Penn,
peace.
I just saw your message on Twitter. TJ Maxx could have been the best player last night. I mean, we'll talk about him in a minute. Ron, I'm gonna give you a visual presentation of what happened yesterday.
Would you like to be on the big screen or
no? I want to be with you all. I want Mars looking at me on reactions. Like I want you to see exactly what went through my brain. Chill. So at one point in time, when TJ McConnell first got into the game, and I was like, damn, like it just looks like in the second quarter, Chill, the momentum's not going to be there. OKC's going to, and SGA wasn't even going crazy, and they were still losing. I'm like, all right, this is about to be nasty. Chill. When that first TJ McConnell bucket happened, I said, all right, good job, TJ.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, all right, let's get back here, get back on defense. And then TJ stole the inbound. I said, and I got up. I literally stood up out of my seat. Said, no way he did that. And then blah, blah, blah. So the whole game, basically, this is me. If you know who if you know who Jason Garrett was for Dallas Cowboys, what did they call him, Chill? The clapper. The clapper. Because he was always on the sideline clapping. This is literally me. Like, damn, wow, Pacers. Hey, Ron.
Moss, to give you some context, Moss, Jason Garrett used to be the coach of the Cowboys.
And they had 8 and 8 seasons every year.
He didn't really do much on the
8
sideline.
8 seasons every single year. But he did this on the sideline.
He was like Darvin Ham, but instead of having his hands in his pocket,
right,
his hands
exactly.
were always...
He didn't really do much on the sideline.
When he got that steal on Alex Caruso, I jumped out of my seat.
He literally threw it right to him. He threw the ball right to him. Literally, right here.
No, he thought he didn't think he was going to be able to get it. He thought he was just throwing over some small. I don't know. He must have thought that Caruso was a suit that TJ McConnell was a suit that worked in the front office, and that he wasn't an NBA athlete. Because he literally just tried to throw it over his head like he was mini-me or something. And TJ said, "Give me
I'll
that.
take this. Thank you very much."
And they went and scored on it. Chill. I'm telling you, I got more excited watching TJ McConnell yesterday than I did watching Jokic get 42 and 22. I'm not kidding. I got more excited watching that than I saw SGA last game on that 3 straight possessions he got, no steals. Who else had a crazy performance this playoff, Mars? The Giannis 30-20 game.
The 30 and 15 game. Y'all remember that triple-double?
Yes.
No turnovers?
Bruh, TJ, bruh. I'm telling you, and I'll be wrong. I'll be the first one to say I was wrong. I thought the Thunder are going to win this in 5, but it don't matter. Chill. This would be. I genuinely mean this. I genuinely mean this, y'all. From a basketball standpoint, a storytelling standpoint, Rod, the Pacers winning the NBA title would be the single best title-winning story of the last 25 years. The only one better than I think will be the Mavericks in 2011. Chill. This would be that impressive.
I think it would be bigger than that off the strength of note. Like Dallas, they had an elite player in Dirk Nowitzki, and there were stretches where they were there. There were stretches where they were in the Western Conference Championship. There were stretches where they were at the point of winning it. Like Indiana, by show of hands, is there anybody who thought, let's just go back to, let's say March. Is there anybody who thought Indiana could win the NBA championship?
No, not the ring. No.
Not Ron. Ron, be honest.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Ron
picked the Bucks
in round 1.
you had him losing to the Bucks, Ron.
Anybody else except for Milwaukee.
What does that mean?
Why this is so nasty for you guys.
How is that nasty for everybody else?
Anybody but Milwaukee. If they played OKC in the first round, let's say the NBA did the thing where they went 1 through 16, I would have picked.
But that's fandom. That's not based on basketball, though.
So you thought the Bucks were the championship favorite?
He didn't have them losing.
Yes.
He had them
oh my God.
But that wasn't based on basketball, though. So, Ron, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to talk to you about this right now because I want to give you flowers for standing with Hallie. But the reason why I don't think you're the best representation of this because you legitimately picked the Bucks despite all their flaws.
Who picked them in the finals? No, let's do this. Who picked them in the finals?
Chill went back to March. He's asking the question about March. I'm saying I didn't think so.
OKC in 5.
Mars didn't think so.
OKC in 5. I don't think these dudes could get to game 6. This is the best team in the NBA. It's no way they can win.
Oh, wow.
The New York Knicks are coming out the East. Blah, blah, blah.
Wait. You had the Bucks coming out the East.
Team doesn't even make the playoffs.
You had the Bucks coming out of the East.
See what you see, Ron. I was going to defend the fact that you can say you have a team coming out in March and then see the matchups come April and be like, oh well, yeah, I got this team. But
like me,
you want to be petty.
But go ahead. I
got my last 3 predictions right.
I didn't have the Pacers until yesterday. Like I don't. Come on, bro.
Can I ask Swiper something? Can I ask Swiper something?
Yeah, please. Ask the one that.
Wait, Swiper, keep talking about TJ.
Position on this.
Keep talking about TJ.
Really quickly, Jay, before you ask him that.
Go ahead, Hill.
Just so you know. Ron had them getting bounced in round 1. He had them losing.
Bounced.
He had them getting bounced
and again,
in round 1.
all of this is recorded, ladies and gentlemen. You just got to go back to PC and you'll see Ron over there talking about the Bucks and Giannis. And probably with his shirt off, flexing his muscles, doing it as well. We know. But no, Swiper. Listen, I want to ask you this, but would this be more like the 04 Pistons though, instead of the
because even the Pistons team, y'all gotta. That's what I said that last night. Could chill. Even the Pistons team, by the way they went through that season, they had a dominant regular season. The dominant regular season, they were one of the best defenses ever during the regular season. Yep. But then after they got Rasheed Wallace, I think everybody saw a path because they were legitimately they had the best starting 5 in basketball. I mean, relative to the time, you look at the names now, like people are not gonna be like, "Oh, the bench was crazy."
Wallace and Hamilton, yes.
And then, but the bench was also really good at this point. So I think for a lot of people, it was like they at least you could see it with them. You could see
they had an all-time defense. They had an all-time defense. We wouldn't say the Pacers' offense is an all-time offense or anything. They don't have nothing all-time like the.
I mean, it is, but like it's like people and can. So this is I think who's So like Jordan and Antonio McDyess. They had Antonio McDyess. They had Darvin Ham. They had what was number 10's name?
Williamson. Corliss Williamson.
What was number 10's name?
Lindsey
Hunter. They had Lindsey Hunter coming off the bench.
Williamson. They had a good team, yo.
They had
a damn good rotation.
They didn't have Nazim Muhammad yet.
No, I don't think he was on that team yet.
He came.
No, but
Mehmet Okur was on that crew too.
Yeah, Mehmet Okur was on their roster.
But Swiper, real quick. But I mean, I hear you, and I want to praise. I want to praise this team for doing what they're doing, Swiper. But and there's never an asterisk. Winning the championship, there's never an asterisk. I just can't put an asterisk by it. But
even in lockout seasons,
wait,
I don't care. I don't care. I know. Real quick, hold on, real quick. I know that. Me myself, I would never put an asterisk on it, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
But with that being said, though, talking about historical this and historical that, like y'all threw historical on this OKC team. Man, okay, they beat the Knicks fair and square. Cleveland, Milwaukee. Come on, like them dudes can barely make. Come on, bro. Very
true about Milwaukee.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
It sounds like Ox is suggesting that this run to the NBA championship isn't as historical.
Who for which team?
For Indiana, he sounds like this run isn't as historical as.
But why?
I'm just saying. No. What I'm saying is, I don't want to by telling the truth. I don't want to discredit. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to make it seem like I'll tell you. I'll get back to you. I'll repeat it if you want me to. I don't want to seem like I'm discrediting something by telling the truth. I don't want to, but I don't want to make it seem like this is super historical when, I mean, they beat up on a hampered Pacers Milwaukee team. They beat up on they beat up on an injured Milwaukee. They beat up on an injured Cleveland team. But they won fair and square. You know what I'm saying? They still won. And
that's your problem. That's not my problem.
Right. And I'm not trying to say it's anybody's problem. Sure. I'm just trying to say let's not make it seem like they're just knocking off juggernauts though. Like,
but I mean, it wasn't. This was like
David Goliath. Like,
I think, but to be fair, we can say that on both sides. Number one, this year alone, we can say that obviously last year for the Celtics, that was the case. They did play an injured star in every round, or not a star at all in every round. And then the Nuggets,
we can say that. Yes, we can say that. We can say that.
So who did you want them to beat? They're beating the Thunder, the best team in the NBA.
But are they really, Brian? That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. They're really not the best team in the NBA.
You want Jordan and Scottie Pippen to come out of retirement and get their ass kicked?
Ron, to be fair, Ox is of the mindset, Ron. Ox is of the mindset, though, that if the Nuggets were healthy, like he thinks they don't get back past Denver. I think in his mind that's what he's saying as well. He thinks
I told y'all before that 68 games is really not what y'all think it is. You know what I'm saying?
Ox is proving the point that we've been sleeping on OKC and Indiana the whole playoffs. A lot of people didn't have OKC making.
I was sleeping on Jay. I was sleeping on Jay. I was sleeping on Indiana. I was.
And what makes it crazy is that whichever one of these teams win will be a historic run either way.
That is.
I mean,
Ox, if you think about, I know it sounds ridiculous, Ox, but
historic 68 wins, league MVP, scoring champ. Yes, they would be historic when they make this playoff run. Yes.
Well, let's take it a step further than that, Jay. Ox, let's just say for the sake of argument, Oklahoma City doesn't win another game in the series. Smoked Milwaukee in 5, smoked Cleveland in 5, handled the Knicks, and then smoked the 68-win Oklahoma City team in 5 games. That's a pretty significant run.
Why 5?
I'm not saying it's not significant. Chill. I'm saying once again. I want because I think you guys are understanding me. And I just think we're just having a little, having a discussion, having a little pushback, and that's fine. More so to the people in the chat. I think people hear this type of stuff and they be like, "Oh, Ox is hating. He's just mad." I'm not mad. I'm enjoying this great basketball. Like that was I did the playback last night, and that was a fun game. I'm having a lot of fun with this series. I just don't want to have because Swiper want to come in here and just just drop a bomb like this is the most historic run we've ever seen since the 2000. All right, Swiper. I know. You see, Swiper, relax, bro.
I said since 2011. Outside of that, that's
all right. And I'm saying it's not.
Oh, but this is I guess what I'm trying to put in context. Ox, like I do respectfully, you're right. they have some injury luck on their side. But again, I just feel like for me, if
and that's a part of the game,
right? You know what I mean? Since I'm here, I feel like it should be fair. The Bucks did in 21. Giannis should not be in Milwaukee right now. I've said this multiple times. Kevin Durant's foot was not on the line, or James Harden doesn't lose a leg, or Kyrie doesn't lose an ankle. Like, we wouldn't be here. Like, Giannis would be probably in the Western Conference somewhere, maybe in 52-80, but that's another conversation. In 2022, the Warriors were not a good finals team, Joe. They weren't. I thought they could have got drum rolled by somebody in the West if they were healthy. I think in 23, like the Nuggets, I think they were the best team, like all the way around. But to your point, the DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul thing in the second game, in game 3, or game 2 in the third quarter, and all that stuff obviously helped them. I still think they would have washed them. But like, I think all the way around, Chill, like this is just what happened. But I will say this though, this is why I think that they deserve crazy credit though.
They do.
They have, despite all that, Ox, they have become the team that is just so full of self-belief, Ox, in what their process is. And all the damn tournaments that you done played in, and all the basketball, man, yo folks, they've driven you around the world to get you to tournament. And sometimes you end up in a place that you didn't think you was going to be in. Nobody else on the outside thought you were going to make the championship game. But you get hot at the start of the playoffs, Ox, and you just start knocking people down. And the next thing you know, you're playing versus the best team in the country. And then now it's on you. Like, because I fully believe what I'm doing. And I'm telling you this, Ox, they don't give a damn about no SGA. They don't care about no J-Dub. They don't care about no Chet. They don't care about no Mark Daigneault. And honestly, TJ McConnell, they like, we got Alex Caruso at home. Mars. Like, he ain't 6'4", but he's 6'1".
I will say this, like, but I've been in these playoffs. And you know what, Penn? That's probably why PC is so good. Because I think these playoffs a lot of times have really come down to my white boy's better than your white boy.
Jokic better than Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero, but Tyler Hero wasn't there. 2024, Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser.
Was that a compliment?
What does that have to do with PC?
Yeah, that was a compliment, Penn.
Cool.
Which white boy you talking about?
Our white boy talking
about Haliburton or McConnell?
I'm talking about TJ right now. I'm talking about TJ.
I thought you were talking about Nerd Sesh. Cool.
Nerd Sesh too, but they more you PC. That's
Yeah, Mars identifies as white too, so we got technically 2.
Okay, cool. but like keep talking about TJ, Spike, but keep talking about TJ.
Well, all I'm saying is, Ron, please.
Did y'all mention TJ made history yesterday?
Tell me what was it? What was it?
5, 5, and 10.
JD,
only player ever to come off the bench and put up those numbers. 5, 5, and 10.
5 steals,
5 steals, 5 assists, 10 points. Never happened.
5 steals.
And that one swipe, he was looking like Ty Law.
Talk about Ty Law.
Yo. Ben Mathurin also made a little bit of history. Ben Mathurin also made a little bit of history. Dropped it in the group chat. Shout out to the Haitians.
Wait. What pin?
Ben Mathurin made a little bit of history last night. So he was the first player to score that many points off the bench in the NBA Finals since, drumroll, Jason Terry.
The first 2011. 25 or more.
So
in the finals?
Ironically, Rick Carlisle coached both players. I want to say, the reason that I picked OKC in 3 to win this series, and yes, I have a lot of mud on my face right now, so I'll take it, is because I very much underestimated how good this Indiana defense was. And I shouldn't have. I really shouldn't have, because this Indiana team has not lost back-to-back games since March.
That's bad news for the Thunder then.
But this Thunder team has not lost back-to-back games since April. So it's bad news for somebody.
March.
Now,
April.
Given that, right?
Sounds like
I think that these are the 2 best teams in the league since January 1st. So it makes a lot of sense that they're here, right? But I really underestimated the defense, because I don't think Haliburton's a good defender. I don't think Ben Mathurin's a good defender. I don't think Obi Toppin's a good defender. Those 3 guys have to play for them to have a chance in this series. If they're going to play, I thought OKC is going to rip them apart, because Shea is just such an assassin at finding your weaknesses. Those guys have not looked like bad defenders.
Well, hold on.
Especially last night. Haliburton's defense? What the hell am I watching?
There's something to this, though. But there's something to this. Andrew Nembhard, the fact that he knows SGA as well as he does, Penn. Now, I've been playing against you for years in practice, and now we're in a game. And I know what you don't like, Penn, and you can acknowledge this because this is what I wasn't predicting. SGA, I think yesterday, even though it was, game 3 SGA, so his numbers go down across the board. So fair context, right? He can come back and have an amazing game next game. He looked like he was gassed at the end of the game because to Doris Burke's point, they were picking on SGA on the
game. They were before the game.
Right. They were picking on him every single possession defensively.
But he had
every single possession.
I think they're doing a good job. I think they're doing a good job defending him without fouling. He's not going to the line.
I'm trying to listen to you dudes.
He's not going to the line as much. They're doing a great job. Nimhar's doing a great job playing one-on-one defense without fouling. That's basically it. That's what he's doing because he goes to the free throw line 4 or 5 more times. He gets you the 30 points that y'all asking him to get. He's just not getting to the free throw line as much in this series, and that's where Nimhard is really taking advantage of.
Thomas Bryant's in the game. Goodness gracious! So put your hands on it.
We gotta pay attention to all the details. I have a friend who's covering the finals, and he's covered all 3 games so far. And he told me it was like 4 or 5 o'clock that they did the pregame media availability, or even earlier. He said SGA looks sleepy. I was like, what? He looks tired. He looks tired, bro. He looks really tired. The whole team looked tired. So I'm wondering, did something happen here? Like, why does this team never loses the turnover?
I know what it is, Mars.
Tired? That's what we doing? We going to tired?
Hang on. I know what it is.
Relax.
These kids ain't getting off their feet.
So
inexperience.
They did not look right. Like Chet, he was Ron. We appreciate you, but Chet was getting it going early. They kind of went away from him, or maybe Miles Turner turned it up defensively. But I don't think this team makes the type of mental mistakes they did. Some of the turnovers that turned into steals and blocks, etc. I don't think they were like, oh, Indiana's just great defensively that they just made that play. I think OKC was just terrible offensively for a lot of it. When's the last time you've seen Shea put up that type of performance in the fourth quarter where he's a guy like his team is down. When he's down, you've seen him take one shot. Or do you think one shot in the third quarter?
Shea was shooting 18% through the first 6 games of the playoffs, I think, in the fourth quarter. So
Penn, can this be attributed? Penn, can this be, because you brought up a really interesting point, could this be attributed to them being young? Because didn't we not see this last season with
this is a very disciplined team.
What I can appreciate the discipline part, but did we not see this last season when Anthony Edwards said he was out of gas? This is the furthest Oklahoma City's ever been with this unit. So would this be attributed to that in your estimation or no?
No. Okay, so I have no intel on this, but we have often heard on the road that sometimes things happen on the road. Like, I don't know, maybe someone runs a fire alarm at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. or something like that in the hotel.
Are you alleging that
Penn, did you get anybody to get you inside information on what they were saying while they were in the locker room instead of the gossip that was going on the streets?
That'd be nice. That'd be great, Jay.
That would be better.
Matter of fact, now you got me, Quan. Let me ask somebody. Because I'm literally right now. I'm gonna ask somebody right now.
Yeah, that's great. Let me see. That is But Penn, I
just felt like they look tired. They look tired. They look lethargic. Sure. They did not look very energetic. They were like making a lot of mistakes. 3 turnovers on inbounds. To TJ McConnell. What the hell is going on there? This is not a team that looked like they were prepared for that game. Now, there's 2 sides of my brain. One side is telling me this shows me the immaturity, the youth, the inexperience. They didn't show up ready to play. Mark Daigneault didn't have them ready. The other side of me goes, this is a war. This is a war, right?
It's Indiana. The finals, Penn.
Hang on. This is a war. It's the first team to 4. Yep. Both teams believe this. Rick Carlisle is a very smart guy. He believes this. OKC believes this. I think if you had told me prior to the series that Indiana was going to win any game this series, I would have bet on game 3. I didn't expect them to win game 1. I don't know how they won game 1, but they won game 1. I thought they would win game 3. Would it surprise you? Would it surprise you? Now, there's a point here that I'm hammering to.
Yep.
Game 3 and game 4 are very special in this series. Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because there's only 1 day between them.
All right.
Playoff basketball, per a trainer that I talked to last week, he said, I would estimate that the intensity on your body is like 400%, 300%. Like, it's that much more than regular season. With the way Indiana is playing right now, they got players who haven't played defense in years, really guarding. They are physically taxing themselves a lot. I see this as, and this is just my claim, this is my prediction, I think OKC is going to smack the shit out of this team.
But you already think OKC is a much better team, though.
It's not just it's what they can do. It's what they can do to a tired team. Like
who's tired?
I think Indiana.
You think the Pacers are tired?
I think Pacers are going to be dead.
That's your takeaway. Now,
I think the Pacers are going to be dead tired. I'm not going to lie,
Pin. You went a whole Canucks. You went a whole circle.
Let's get into it though, so I can figure out why does Pin say this. Like, where did that come from?
Well, he started this.
I think they played. I think they played one of the hardest games. Like physically, one of the hardest games. They guarded up. They were picking up 94 feet. They exerted themselves.
The role players were.
OKC was there too.
Ben Shepherd was the 11th man.
Have you watched the Pacers in the playoffs?
You don't think OKC played that hard? They've
been picking up 94 feet the whole playoffs.
Well, not only that, Penn. Just a quick question for you, Penn. Do you think and because it sounds to me, Penn, like you looked at Indiana last night as they were extremely physical. Were they more physical last night than they were against the Knicks?
Yes.
Not the Cleveland series. They literally punked Cleveland. They were 45 points at one point in the first half because of how physical they were being.
How they did it is totally different. I don't think I've seen Tyrese Haliburton play this level of defense. Pascal Siakam is playing this level of defense.
And so over a course
blocking
of 82
Jalen Williams
games,
on back-to-back.
Yes, he did that to Donovan Mitchell.
Training camp, 82 games, in-season tournament, and throughout the whole first, second, third round of the playoffs, you mean to tell me Indiana just hasn't been playing no defense?
I didn't say
that.
No, he didn't say that.
Team since January 1st.
No,
Haliburton. He said Haliburton.
They're the best team since January 1st. And you mean to tell me that they're just now starting to play defense in the NBA
This
Finals?
level of defense is what he said.
They're just now starting to play defense
that's not true,
in the NBA Finals.
We watched hold on. We watched the Bucks series in which they clamped versus the Bucks. We watched the Cleveland series when everybody got back on the court, mind you. They clamped Cleveland. They punched Donovan Mitchell in the mouth.
No,
I know they were hurt. I know they were hurt. I know.
I'm not. Off the table,
but they did.
We 100% saw Donovan Mitchell averaging 40 a game against.
No, he did not. No, chill. That's not the point.
He said Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell's not Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell's
that's not what I said.
And not only that,
wait. I'm not even done. Donovan Mitchell averaged 34.2 on 54.7 true shooting in the series. I have the numbers. I've been tracking the numbers every game for SGA. Guess what SGA's at right now? To your point, if they didn't clamp the Thunder yesterday, SGA's at 32 on 58 right now.
Yep.
But so like he's having a great series as well. Like every 1A option does it versus the Pacers because they want you to do that. What I said was Cleveland got punched in the face by the Pacers, and that's exactly what happened. $100 super chat, Ron.
Arch said, Pin, you said OKC in 3 before the series.
Yep.
Everyone thought the Pacers got no chance. The fact the Pacers doing this to this historic defense is amazing.
No debate here. It's awesome. What they're doing is awesome. What I'm seeing this as is this is a war. Okay. This is not a battle. Doesn't matter who's up 2-1. They were up. They were down 2-1 against Denver. Okay.
It doesn't matter.
I think that mattered that they were down 2-1 against.
Why doesn't it matter versus a team that's much deeper than Denver?
In the end, it only matters who won the 4. That's all that matters. The 16th win in the playoffs is all that matters.
I mean, to give Penn credit, what Indiana did defensively yesterday was phenomenal. They don't do that all the time. What they did yesterday,
going up 2-1 helps the chance to get into 4. That's why. 100%. That's why this also matters. That's all I'm saying.
100%.
Process. Yeah, especially going back to game 4. Like you said, they only got 24 hours to recover, right? So that you're going to go back Friday night in Indiana. That crowd's going to be hyped. You're talking about energy. That crowd's going to give the Pacers enough energy. Benedict Mathurin explained it, how in that arena, he felt it last night. It was live last night. They had the stars there like it was New York. They had, all the old players there. So, you say it's the war. It's the NBA Finals, Penn. I don't know what you mean by it's the war. But it was a great defensive scheme by the Pacers yesterday. They executed well. Those steals didn't come out of nowhere. Those were all executed on what they were trying to do. And the OKC Thunder has been pushing the ball out of bounds the whole series. So that's not a surprise that they were trying to push the ball after a basket. Just that we didn't think.
They always do that.
Yeah, exactly.
But in Penn, by the way, mind you, that game 4 that you just referenced with Denver, they had one player, Aaron Gordon, who he took 10 shots, one player that shot above in that game, that shot above 36%, including Jokic, Murray, Porter, everybody else, Russ, Peyton. This is what I'm saying. I think for me, the reason why, if the Pacers, they have so much more versatility, chill. And them being able to throw 1 through 11 at you at any given time with the amount of shooting they have, and they have defenders and from all the way, this is how I'd rank it, Pin. SGA, 94 feet defenders. Nembhard, Benny, and then Ben Shepherd. That's who they've been doing. And TJ McConnell.
TJ.
Yeah, and TJ. They have 4 players that will pick up 94 feet. And all of them, they're an ox. It's like a hockey line change.
Wait. Out of those four guys, Swiper, and out of those 4 guys, 3 of those dudes come off the bench. I think their depth. I think that alone, Pin, is what's keeping these dudes fresh. That's why I disagree with you about them being tired. I think Rick Carlisle had me furious last night when he didn't put TJ McConnell in the game in the third quarter. But Coach obviously knows something I don't know.
He put him in the floor.
TJ won the game for them in the second quarter.
He did so, but I'm saying, imagine that. Imagine me up here like Rick, what are you doing? Put TJ in the game. And Rick like, yo, chill out, bro. I know what I'm doing. He's letting other dudes rock like they're winning the basketball game, and he's keeping dudes fresh. You know what I'm saying? That's why these NBA coaches are getting the big bucks. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows what he's doing. He's utilizing his depth. That's why Tom Thibodeau, I think, is out of there. Because I know all these guys are unplayable, but I don't believe in unplayable. You know what I'm saying? Like,
who said that?
What? I was talking about
the Knicks. He's talking about the Knicks. They beat certain guys on the Knicks.
So what I'm saying is, like, I think if you
did say that though, Swiper.
About that one game. Yeah.
Swipe. I wasn't even talking about that.
No, for sure.
That's old news. That's old news. But what I'm saying is, like, if Rick Carlisle is doing a good job keeping his guys fresh, he's utilizing his bench. And Swiper, you just named the guys that are playing at 94 feet of defense. And when you were doing it, I realized, like, bro, 3 of those dudes don't start. You know what I'm saying? So think about how he's keeping these guys fresh. Like,
yep.
I mean, that's my only point, Pin. Like, they're playing hard and all that, but it's not like he's running them into the ground.
No, I understand. Every game.
Pin, real quick, because remember when the Lakers got beat by Denver in the Western Conference Finals, and Braun was bent over. You know, like, you could tell, like, bro is tired. He can't. He's not going to be able to activate that reserve tank that he used to be able to activate to carry this squad. And you can see it on Braun's face. You can see how he had his hands on his knees. He was gasping for air. Mm-hmm. I saw that in the SGA last night. Yeah. What I saw in Braun in those 23 Western Conference Finals is what I saw in SGA in the middle of the fourth last night. And SGA is a little younger than Braun was by about 30 years. So maybe he can recover and be able to throw that squad on his back. But
SGA also, to be fair, but we haven't said this at all. SGA didn't play well at all last night.
Chill, you saw that?
Like, at all. Like, he stunk. Matter of fact, he stunk and hurt his team.
But that wasn't because of SGA though, Swiper. That was because of the Pacers.
I agree with you. And what I'm saying that, like, not Penn, but we haven't even collectively gotten to that point yet, because I think SGA was taken out of the game because of Nembhard and TJ McConnell and Benny and Rick Carlisle and Ben Shepherd. They were even SGA, when he got to the baseline, they sent a late double. They was in the late double at SGA. Now, in one of them, he bailed out, got that crazy Griff foul call, chill, that somehow in the NBA Finals you would get that call, which I thought was insane.
That was Obi's fault.
I know he stuck his hand in the cookie jar, but it wasn't like it was like crazy contact. But SGA,
he got there too late.
Yeah, he should have got there a little sooner. But I'm saying that SGA, if he plays better,
he got him. He was foul.
If he plays better, they might have been in the game yesterday to a degree, but he just didn't. And I think the thing that's going to change about that, SGA is going to hit those shots. But I think at this point, you got a good game from we even talk about that. You got a good game from J-Dub for the most part yesterday. You got a good game from Chet for the most part yesterday. You got a good game from Alex Caruso for the most part yesterday. The others were there. The best player on the floor for the Thunder, he wasn't good enough. And on top of that, to your point, Ox, credit that to Rick Carlisle. They basically figured out the boxing one thing that the Thunder do to everybody else. Okay, well, we're going to play shadow behind, but we're going to load up 94 feet. And every time SGA wants to go get the ball, he's going to have to run around somebody. And every down screen they set for him, Ox, they're literally face guarding him, and then they're pushing him off the spot to get around the screen. And then even when they started to try to get those backline switches with iHeart and with SGA, Nembhard did a great job. Let me go get back on here, iHeart. Let me get back on here, SGA. They'll run another down screen for him, and then they'll get back around. SGA, literally, they're making life as difficult as possible for him to get the ball in spots he's comfortable in and chill.
Are they living with Lou Dort? They living with Lou Chill?
Just so you know, 2 of the 3 games he's hit 5 threes. We'll live with that all night. But I want to get back to what Jay was talking about when he mentioned that they planned on those steals. Well, sure, Indiana picks up full court. No doubt about that. Alex Caruso has to know that. He's been in these situations before. He's been in the playoffs. He's been on championship teams. He knows who TJ McConnell is. TJ McConnell is an energy guy. TJ McConnell picks up 94 feet. He threw one of those passes away like nobody was there. He threw the ball away in the backcourt like wasn't anybody there, and we're in the middle of January and everybody's in the backcourt. That's not my issue, though. My issue is I'm watching Miles Turner, and you guys know me, I'm not a big Miles Turner fan, but I ended up going back and watching the game again. Miles Turner actually did a really good job defensively. He did.
In the second half.
He actually did. He did a really good job.
Every
last one of you guys up here, not just me, but every last one of you guys up here has a pet peeve with not necessarily a player, but somebody that does something in the game, whether it's whoever it is, that does something in the game that you just can't handle. I can't handle big guys that don't rebound. I can't handle that.
I agree with you there, too. His rebounding is upsetting.
I can't handle big guys that don't rebound. You guys have a position or a guy who might pound the ball a little bit too much or somebody. I just can't handle big guys that don't rebound. When Miles Turner last night, I did think, even though he wasn't scoring the basketball, even though I thought Chet did a good job on him as a bucket getter, I thought he did a great job on Chet. Closing out. Did a great job on Chet being physical with him. Oklahoma City did a good job getting Chet into action, getting back cuts, not just getting back cuts, getting pick and pop with him.
He's kind of playing soft too, Chill.
Who's playing soft? One more time.
Chet, did you see Miles Turner move him out of the way?
See, that's the thing. I don't think
they got him playing the 5 more. He's playing the 5 more now.
See,
that's why he's playing the 5 more now. When he has to deal with Turner.
That's the issue that I'm having, Swiper. The issue that I'm having is that you're saying that he's playing soft. I don't think he's playing soft more than Indiana's just being physical with him.
Sure.
That's what I think it is. And I think that at some point you got to match that physicality. I don't think Chet can, but I think as a unit they can. I think as a unit they can match that physicality. And I felt like yesterday, Miles Turner, I thought he did a damn good job defending. I thought he did a damn good job closing out at the long ball line. He didn't do the stuff that he did yesterday. He didn't do any of that against Cat. Cat was blowing by him. Cat was knocking down shots in front
Cat's a real threat though offensively. Chet and iHeart are not that.
But I'd like
to
I'm not saying that Chet is Cat. I'm not saying that at all. But Chet can get downhill. Chet can knock down an 18-footer. He can also knock down the long ball. But I thought that, and you guys know how I feel about Miles Turner. You know I think he's soft. But last night he did not play like that. But I will say,
has he been soft this series, though, Chill? I feel like he's been playing very physical, but he's being smart with his physicality.
And I think it's a product. I think that resonated. I think it got on him throughout the rest of the crew because you just mentioned Nembhard. I feel like, and I'm on record saying this, I feel like when SGA go to the bathroom, Nembhard is standing outside waiting on him to come out. As soon as he come out, he's standing right there. He is in this dude's shirt wherever he goes, and this is where Oklahoma City's offense has to get. I feel like we're in the NBA Finals, so we're splitting hairs. So it's stuff like screening, not just screening, knowing how to get around screens, knowing how to get open when you get a screen. And I feel like SGA isn't utilizing that as much because I got a guy that's all over me. So if I got a guy that's all over me, I can't just push him off me because he's going to come right back. So I got to use my other guys in order to get open. I don't need to expend a lot of energy trying to do that, right? I don't need to spend a lot of energy pushing guys off me. I got to get my other guys involved in this. We have to talk about how J-Dub was kicking Mathurin ass yesterday. Ooh. He was kicking his ass.
He played well.
It was
Naismith.
Mathurin caught some of it too, but it was Naismith.
Naismith was getting embarrassed today. I don't know what was going on. And actually, the whole series, you pointed out
100% he was doing that.
I mean, but he's like
the problem with J-Dub. The problem with J-Dub is I'll get this, and then I'll get another 4 for 16 performance where he doesn't really do much and he'll disappear in games.
That's like we're being hard on J-Dub. I think he played a really good game yesterday.
I thought he played awesome
great yesterday. He had
really good.
No.
Well, I think for what he's done in this final so far, that was his best.
He did not look like an all-NBA player.
And had a turnover late.
Wow. His defense was he played great defense yesterday. He was a positive. He scored 20 or more points again yesterday. That's what he is.
J-Dub was the best player on the court last night.
For the Thunder.
For either team.
For Thunder.
J-Dub was the best player.
No, not for either team. Not for either team. For the Thunder, yeah. For the Thunder.
J-Dub was getting busy. He shot 50% from the field, 50% from three. He was locking down on defense. J-Dub was hooping last night.
I mean,
J-Dub got whatever he wanted to. Was getting downhill, getting to the free throw line. J-Dub was balling.
He missed crucial free throws late in the game, and he had a crucial turnover late in the game. That's the only reason I kind of knock it down to not his all the way out, performance. But he did play well last night. He was definitely. That's why they kept going to him, because they had no answer for him last night. Nobody could guard him until they started putting Siakam on him in the fourth quarter.
But that's Jay, part of the reason why I'm saying this is because I feel like Chill and Ox was with me last night on Playback, and I kept saying this because I'm making it a point of emphasis to let you guys know just how good J-Dub is. J-Dub wasn't the number 2 last night. He was the Thunder's number 1. When they needed a bucket, J-Dub got it. When they needed a stop, J-Dub got it. J-Dub was hooping last night, and you said he wasn't playing like an all-NBA player. Yeah, First off, I want to let you know, he is an all-NBA player, and he shows it night in and night out. And last night was another night.
Offensively. But we do that. But offensively, but he's been elite in the playoffs defensively for most of the playoffs, and including the series so far.
I don't know where the J-Dub hate comes from, but y'all need to take that and tuck it somewhere.
He's not Kevin Durant.
Are you insane?
Oh,
seriously, I can't say a player didn't play.
I'm saying that's like the biggest criticism. He's not being hate to say
I like J-Dub.
Who's the guy that came on here and said J-Dub is Scottie Pippen and Mike? Who's that guy that said that?
Real talk.
That's where it's coming from. Soon as you do something like that, you put the target on the kid back.
But they was hating on J-Dub before that even happened. I don't know if he's a legit number 2, a bunch of other stuff. J-Dub has done nothing but consistently.
You got to cook them Zesty Jeffries on stuff like that though.
There you go. See, Ox, Chill said it. Chill had said it before. Chill just think he has another year or two to.
That's where I think he is.
Where we all think he can be, but he's a solid player.
He's fantastic. I just don't think he's where I think he's going to be yet.
But he's year 3. Of course not.
He's looked like it all playoffs, though.
But here's the difference, though, Swiper. I'm glad you brought that up.
All playoffs.
No, he hasn't proved it all playoffs. Because
I said he's hooped all playoffs. And why hasn't he?
No, he hasn't.
No, he has
when they need it.
In that Denver series.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Are you talking about the offensive stuff? Because we only can be talking about that. Okay, fine.
Yes.
Okay.
What other number 2 has not been up and down?
So wait. To be clear, y'all.
What other player
hold on, y'all. Let's go through this. In the first round, he was the best under.
He's the MVP.
Memphis Grizzlies
been up and down.
He was the best under in the Memphis Grizzlies series. Chill. You fight that. He was the best under in the Memphis Grizzlies series.
Yeah, Caruso
crazy. In the Denver series, he outplayed Shea in game 3? Game 3, and they lost that game because Shea was booty cheeks in the second half of that game. J-Dub is the one that had 32 points in that game, was super efficient and was scored. Game 4, he wasn't good. Game 5, he was good. Game 6, SGA, none of them were good. Game 7, the whole team was good. And then you get to the Wolves series, he was good. He wasn't like spectacular offensively, but his defense every round has been elite. And then in this series so far, he's been an all-NBA defender this whole series. And yesterday, he was the best player on the floor. For the OKC Thunder on both ends. On both ends.
Before yesterday, he's shooting 30% for the series.
Right.
He's still on the floor.
He's 2 games.
Yeah.
Even if it's a 2-game sample, we're sitting up here talking about the Indiana Pacers. What's the series, Ron?
2-1.
We don't have time to screw around. They're already halfway to the championship.
Yeah, he wasn't screwing around last night.
Yesterday. Then. So wait, why does that's what I'm saying? Why do we pick? Not saying you chill necessarily.
Sure.
Why do we pick on to me, this whole thing about J-Dub is so weird. Not PC, but I'm talking about the conversation about him. Yeah, the dude just made 3rd team All NBA, averaging 21, 4, and 5 on the year. He's having a great year 3. Again, year 3 for a year 3 player. He's playing fairly well in the playoffs. Defensively, he's been a menace. Offensively, he's been inconsistent. He's been inconsistent as a shooter, as a scorer. But guess what? When SGA goes out of the game, when the lineups get more aggressive, he's turning the ball over. I mean, he's turning the other team over. He's scoring in transition. He's trying to find ways to do it. He's hitting those mid-range jumpers at time. He had an important 3 yesterday to put him up 89 to, 89, 80, 85? That was the score, 89, 84, I think, going into the fourth quarter, something like that. He hit the 3 to put him over the top. And then in the fourth quarter, if SGA comes to the party, they might have won the game. But like I'm saying, we're not holding SGA to that, but we do it with J-Dub. And for me, it's just weird.
Though. You explained why. Nimhard. You explained why. Nimhard. Come on. We gotta give the young man some credit. I call him the 2K generic player. Like when you create a generic player, you get like a Nimhard face. It's like that's what he is.
But Jay, though, we watched Neesmith in the past 2 series. We watched Neesmith do a pretty good job on Donovan Mitchell. I know he got busy, but he did a good job on him. We watched Neesmith pick up Jalen Brunson full court. And was like Jalen Brunson still averaged 30? Yes, but Neesmith was on him like white on rice. He played good ass defense. He's the one that's checking J-Dub.
He's like a pedestrian. He got Naismith looking like a pedestrian right now on the defensive side. That's how good J-Dub's been playing. I'm not gonna lie.
but that's what I'm saying. Neesmith is a guard defender. Like so he's not a wing defender. Like
I give you that.
J-Dub is a big people. Again, J-Dub in real life, he's 6'5.5", like he's or 6'6", like depending on whatever. But he's still a big dude, bro.
He looks.
He's a long.
He has a long wingspan. Yeah.
Like he might give Nimhard a little bit of an issue, but Nimhard versus guards. Versus SGA looks very competent because now we're relatively the same size. They're the same. I think Nimhard's stronger than SGA is, and he just knows how not to get into the cookie jar when it comes to fouling and all that kind of stuff. I don't like people say SGA is crazy strong. I just don't think he's like incredibly strong relative to like what I'm seeing from other guards in the league. That's just me personally. I think that he's very twitchy and all the stuff Penn talked about, the flexibility and everything else. But I think for me, more so, y'all, I just want to give the Pacers credit because I think the Pacers are doing everything they're supposed to do to win this series, including Hallie played a great game yesterday. I think that he was very decisive, Ron. That's a good way to, I think, phrase that. He was very decisive with what he did. I think and you know, there is no agenda. Like I don't understand. So if we spent 36 minutes of this show talking about why OKC lost, and then we didn't bring up the best player on the floor, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like we never do that with any other team. Because with Anthony Edwards, I know exactly what the conversation would be. He got to learn how to play make. He got to learn how to be able to get other people involved. He got to learn how to like dive and do this and throw it behind his head. I know what it would be. SGA's playmaking was horrible yesterday. I thought he wasn't aggressive enough. But game 4, he'll probably be great. That's what SGA is. He's an all-time.
Yeah. Mars, I want to ask.
All-time great guard.
Hold on, chill. Just hold that thought right quick because I definitely want to hear from Mars. I want to hear your whole breakdown on what you feel about last night's game. But before we do that, y'all, I got to let you know about Prize Picks and how you can run your game, control your game, and win your game. And with Prize Picks, how when you play $5, you will get 50 back instantly in promo funds. But you only get that when you use promo code PANEL. Prize Picks is the way to go in the NBA Finals if and only if you know ball. Because with Prize Picks, they give you the option to, take somebody's stat line for the night, and you get to choose more or less on that player projection. And once you choose 2 or more players, you have the opportunity to cash in big. So remember, use promo code PANEL, play $5 to get $50 back instantly, and ultimately have a good old grand old time on Prize Picks. Also, the Game Time app is the place to be if you want to get into the NBA playoffs. Now, if you are in the Sacramento area, if you are in the Indiana area, scratch that. The Toronto area, if you're in the Houston area, or if you are in the Denver area, you won't get to the NBA Finals anytime soon. But you have an opportunity to get to Indiana for Game 4 and watch them play in the NBA Finals, the grandest stage. And the cool thing about it is with the Game Time app, they will allow you to get into the game. Now, the Game Time app, it makes getting tickets faster and easier than ever before, especially if you're in one of those cities that I mentioned. The prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to tip off. My favorite part about the Game Time app is, they have views from your seats before you buy them. You can get a panoramic view of your seat in the app. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with the Game Time app. Download the app, create an account, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, redeem the code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. Get last-minute tickets. Lowest prices guaranteed in the game. Last but not least, I know this is a long ad read and you're probably getting hungry. Well, don't even sweat it, y'all, because, well, Factor Meals has you covered. See, the thing about it is it's been a long summer. A long, long, long summer. But with Factor Meals, you don't got to worry about being inside cooking and worried about where your next meal's coming from, because with Factor Meals, they have meals that you can heat and eat in 2 minutes, and it takes the hassle out of eating. And you don't got to be in the kitchen all summer. You could get outside and enjoy the sun. Factor Meals arrives fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active and busy lifestyle. They have 45 weekly menu options. Factor Meals will power you through your day from sunup to sundown with nutritious breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. Factors has you covered all day long. So get outside and enjoy this summer. Get Factor, get the flavor, and lose the fuss. You see, me, I eat Factor Meals every day, and I believe that you guys should do the same thing. So once again, get started at factormeals.com/playerschoice50 off. Use code playerschoice50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code playerschoice50 off at factormeals.com/playerschoice50 off for 50% off your first box plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/playerschoice50 off. Mars, talk to us about what you've seen in game 3. Can we get your full complete breakdown?
Can't be a long summer if it's still spring, Ron. Go ahead, Mars.
I think Indiana with a better team. I think Indiana deserved to win. They did a couple of the things that I thought would help them in the series in terms of denying Shea off the ball. I think they did a really good job of that, limiting his touches. And then when he did get the ball, just very active in the gaps, trying to take away as much of Shea's free lanes as possible. And then Shea was turning the ball over like crazy, which is a Shea problem. I think Shea has to be better in that regard. I think as someone who picked OKC in 5, and I keep saying that wasn't about I don't think Indiana's good. That was about just I think OKC is that good. Because we say it and we don't seem to like acknowledge the fact that Indiana have the second best record in the NBA in 2025, only behind OKC. Like, this is a really good team. They've been a really good team all of 2025. Like, the idea that OKC are just this untouchable team and then Indiana are just this team that's happy to be here, I think is overblown in that sense, because when we talk about how good they've been the second best team in the NBA thus far in 2025, and they overperform like their statistics, if that makes sense. Like, I think they're like 6th in net rating or like 5th, something like that in this year, but they perform so well down the stretch of games that they end up winning games that seem improbable. So I think statistically, they might not get that same love that OKC do, who dominate net ratings. But when the games are close, down the stretch of games, game 1 and game 3, Indiana are the team that closed out both times convincingly in game 3. And then obviously with the Tyrese Haliburton game winner. Like, I still think OKC are the better team. I still think OKC are going to win the series if I had to make a guess. But I'm at the point now, I wouldn't be surprised if Indiana won. I think they are a good enough team to win this series. And obviously being up 2-1 with game 4 at home obviously does help that fact. But I think Indiana are a worthy opponent,
100%.
Yeah,
Mars, are we in a space, Mars, because this Oklahoma City team has been as good as they've been all year. 68 wins. They got the league MVP. They got a all-league defender and an all-NBA performer on their crew. Mobley is the only other guy that made all-pro as an all-NBA guy and an all-league defender. With all of that being said, is it not sexy with Indiana being the 4th seed? Like, New York was better than them, Cleveland was better than them, Boston was better than them for the majority, in people's estimation, because they had a better record. And now Indiana is here. It's almost like they're here by default.
It doesn't matter who you are in November. It matters who you are when the playoffs start, right? So the moving average says that Indiana was the best team in the East.
Yes.
Obviously, I gave the edge to every team. I've picked this team to lose every single round. That's the crazy part. Literally, every single round.
The Bucks?
I believe I picked them to lose against the Bucks.
That was a good.
I thought Giannis would beat them by himself. I thought Giannis would beat him. I thought Giannis would beat them by himself.
I wanted to see that. So I ended up.
Yeah.
I think over here I picked the Pacers, and then on my podcast I picked the Bucks, while simultaneously saying every reason why
Kyle Kuzma
the Bucks would lose. But I think I definitely picked the Cavs.
Nobody talking about Kyle Kuzma.
Brooke Lopez.
I definitely picked the Cavs. I think that was the one that I definitely picked against Indiana, and then I picked them against the Knicks.
Wait, who did you pick in the Bucks Pacers on your own platform, the other platform?
Oh, my platform, I picked the Bucks.
I didn't necessarily. I picked the Bucks, but I more so picked the Bucks on Giannis needed that series. I felt like Giannis needed to carry the Bucks through Indiana. First of all, I just didn't, I just wasn't very high on Indiana, but on top, even though they were playing really good basketball, I thought Giannis had a level of carryability and a level of dominance that could get them through that series. And on top of that, I was pulling for Giannis. I didn't want this paperwork going out. You know what I'm saying? Them indictments are on the way. I just didn't want them to.
I picked Giannis because he averaged almost 40 and
come on.
No, you got to stop saying this. I heard y'all Scottie Pippen take on an almost triple-double. That's not a triple-double. And this is also not an almost 40. Giannis was at 33 points a game. That's not almost 40.
Okay, so once again, hence the term almost.
No, ain't no almost. 7 points.
33 ain't really almost.
7?
That's not what I said.
You said almost 40 a game.
Okay, so 33. That's not okay. So that's more than 30. That's not.
That's almost 34.
That's correct.
Almost 35.
So that's not.
That's not close to 36.
Correct.
It's a mile and a half away from 40.
I apologize, Swiper. So I got that number wrong. But I can tell you right now, 21, 9, and 8. It's almost a triple double.
No, it's not. It was 7.7.
He didn't even average 8. You're already rounding up. That's the issue.
Rounding up to 8.
Yeah, you round up.
Did he average 9 rebounds?
You average up. 9.2. You average 21 point something. 20.2. I think 9.2. 7.7. What we do out of the kindness of our hearts, instead of saying 7.7 and 9.2, we'll say 21, 9, and 8. Correct. We don't then get to round up the 8 that we already rounded up from 7.7. We round that up to 10.
We're not rounding it up to 10.
Twice.
You are almost. That's not almost a triple double.
We're not rounding it up to 10.
Wait, no, chill. You realize.
8 is almost. 8 is almost to 10.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not even close to 9.
Can we get back to?
No, because I'm tired of you doing that. You do that for your guys. You do that for your guys. Your guys.
If I round up 7.7 to 8, let me ask you. Ox, let me ask you a question. I made $777,000 last year. I'm around.
You know, you say you definitely made $1 million.
Once again.
$1 million.
It depends on who I'm talking to, though, Mars. I'm talking to the right.
You talking to a shorty? You saying $1 million? Ox, you talking to a shorty? You saying $1 million?
As I was,
I don't really tell women how much I make.
You got you can say that.
Y'all be flexing. That's your problem right there. I would undersell it. I would say I make $500,000.
I made $777,000 last year, and I'm gonna round that up. Let's say I made $800,000. Is that close to $1 million?
No.
Yes, it is.
$200,000.
Okay, I'm good. All right.
200,000.
All right, I'm good.
20%. 20%.
You already made $800,000.
Ron, I'm 20% away from $1 million. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm almost at $1 million.
To it though.
I'm close.
Okay, wait. I got it. Hold on. I got this. Hey, Ron. I'm closer to 6'4" than I am to 5'6". So therefore, I'm almost 6'4".
Okay.
Is that fair?
But you're not.
You're not 5'6".
I'm still
Wait, because you're almost 6 foot.
Swiper, 6'4" is still short. Swiper.
No. Shush. You're 6'8". That don't matter. Okay. I am 6 foot. Well, I think 6 foot.
Yeah, can you tell him 6'4" short?
6'.75". So therefore, basically 6'4". So I'm closer to 6'4" than I am Marge's height. So can I say that I'm 6'4"? I'm basically 6'4".
If you're 6'1",
chill. When you and I stand together, you taller, but you ain't that much taller.
I am.
So,
taller
like,
than you,
we
but
damn
I'm not
near the same height.
significantly taller than you. So okay,
So
sure.
if you come up to your
However-
shoulders, bro.
However, I'm 6'4". Swiper.
You 6'3".
Okay, let's say.
Damn near 6'11", apparently.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so let's say I'm 6'3". Swiper, am I almost 6'6"?
No. You can
Would
tell.
you
Like,
consider
if
yourself-
you, no, wait. Now tell me I'm right. Could Dell? I don't know Dell, Penn. I don't know who y'all got love profiles up here, Hinge and all that other stuff. If you put on your profile right now, Chill, and you said you were 6'6", and you show up to a date, and then you the height you are now, they're gonna leave you because you lied.
Well, they would
Almost don't work.
Say it was a triple double. He didn't say
Almost don't work.
Did I say that?
You
Did I
didn't
say
say
that it was a
that.
triple-double?
Almost don't work.
Hold on.
Almost
Hey,
6'6".
Chill. Ask Dell the question with the context, or Mars, you can.
Okay,
So I'm gonna give the context of the
Wait,
conversation.
let me say hello, everyone.
Oh, hello.
First
So,
up,
Dell?
the way
I
this
miss you
conversation,
all.
the
I
way this
miss you
conversation
all.
started, we were talking about.
Wait. Y'all can hear me or no?
Yeah, we
Yes.
I miss you all except this kid in the blue shirt. I know him, so I can't miss you.
Peace
But I
and
miss you
blessings,
all.
brother. Peace and blessings.
Please and blessings. I love your background. It says
Appreciate it.
James King.
King
Me.
James.
Me.
Go James Kingdom in full.
Me. Oh, you're a LeBron fan.
Oh, the biggest.
Yo.
Yeah, the biggest. Yeah.
Some say I'm the ultimate, but hey, we're not here to talk LeBron. We're here to talk the finals. Go ahead, brother.
So,
The context was, this was the full context. We was talking about Scottie Pippen and what he did in the finals, because Jordan said that not Michael Jordan on the panel said that he was carrying Scottie Pippen. He said Michael Jordan was carrying Scottie Pippen. Chill and Ox had pushback to that. Then then Kobe Bryant got brought up. Jordan said Kobe was better than Pippen in the finals. Chill said, to that point, Scottie Pippen was almost averaging a triple-double in the finals from 91 to 93. He said he was averaging 21, 9, and 8 in the finals during those years in comparison to Kobe Bryant. And then I looked up the numbers, found out he was averaging 7.7 assists. So then I said, we can't say averaging 7.7 assists is almost averaging 10 assists to try and make Scottie Pippen look better. And then it turned into, 7.7 is almost 8, and averaging 8 assists is almost a triple-double. And what I said was, you can't round twice. You can't round 7.7 up to 8 and then say, well, 8, you round up to 10. That's almost a triple-double. You can't do that. You don't get to round twice.
now, Dell,
That was my pushback.
It's a round plus an
now,
almost.
Dell,
I'm not.
Now, Dell, what I was saying-
Like, you don't get to do that.
Let
You
Chill
don't
defend
get to
himself.
do that.
Go ahead, Chill.
That was the
Explain
argument.
it, Chill.
And it
Go
lasted
ahead,
like
Chill.
20 minutes.
now, Dell, what I was saying, because Mars eloquently put it, 7.7, we're going to round that up to 8. We're going to keep it at 8. We're not going to move it anywhere past 8. We're not going to move it to 8.9. We're not going to move it to 9. We're going to keep it at 8. And when you see this stat line, 7.7, which is rounded up to 8, when you see the stat line at the end, 21, 9, and 8, that's almost a triple-double. That's all I said.
Is that not almost a triple double?
Is that damn near triple-double? Yes or no?
21, 9, and 8. Yes.
You guys, so
Make
just
sure
to be
I'm
clear,
up.
But my perspective on this, if we play a 6-game series, which is where it was when he averaged 7.7 assists, it was a 6-game series. I also want to put out there that the first series he averaged 6.6 assists, which is definitely not damn near. But anyway, if we play a 6-game series and you get 8 assists a game, that's 48 assists. In order to average a triple-double, you needed 60. If after 6 games, you're 12 assists away from a triple-double, you're not close.
48 ain't almost 60, Mars. But
hey, and by the way, and to Ox's point, you need a preface.
In one game, if you get 21, 9, and 8 in one game, yes, you are close to a triple-double in one game. The more games there are, if you average 8 assists, you're not close. If someone averages 21, 9, and 8 for a season,
Mars
over
using totals.
82 games, you then start to realize this guy was nearly 200 assists away. You weren't close to averaging a triple.
You play one game at a time.
First of all,
but when we do averages,
you need a preposition and an adverb to make it an almost triple double.
Through the first 3 finals,
averages 8 assists.
through the first 3 finals, he averaged 6.5
Over 82
assists.
games, they're already 160 assists away. Like the more games there are, the further away you are from averaging a triple double. Scottie Pippen in one game,
twice in his
like
career.
Tyrese Haliburton yesterday, I think had 22, 11, and 9.
9.8 is
damn near a triple double. Tyrese Haliburton was damn close to a triple double. But 8 assists, the more games there are, you're not close. I'm sorry, you're not close.
Bars.
Yes.
If someone averaged 21, 9, and 8 for a season, You know what people will be saying?
He almost averaged a triple double.
And I would be disagreeing with them.
They'll be saying that person is a walk-in triple double if they're averaging that.
And I would disagree with them.
You're disagreeing because how far the numbers are, and I understand that, Mark.
Because that's what triple double is purely numbers. That's it.
But every given night, they'll say that person can
You
have
can average
a triple
21, 9,
double.
and 8 and never get a triple double.
Exactly, and then people can say every given night that person can still have a triple double.
But
Scottie
they
Pippen averaged
never have
6.5 assists in his first 3.
But look, but look,
literally
you know me.
never
When I'm here, I'm always here with 3 factors that made me my mind blown for the last 2 weeks.
Scottie Pippen didn't have one triple double in that finals.
I wrote it down.
Which finals?
92. He didn't have one.
And when Ron,
But he almost.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Once again, we're taking this to the literal term, Ox, because Mars just said he didn't have one triple double, even though he did go 24, 11, and 9 in one of those games.
And that's damn near a triple double. That's my
Close.
That's damn near a triple double.
Most.
Once you do averages,
Almost.
which accounts for more than one game.
So Mars,
21, 9, and 8 in one game.
Okay,
21, 9, and 8 in one game is almost a triple
That's what
double.
it is, Jay. So I'm glad you brought that up. So
L
was it the 92
basketball,
finals,
man.
Mars, you said? You said the
In
92
the 92
finals?
finals, he didn't have a triple double. That's what I just said. Yeah.
He didn't have one triple double in that
Yes.
series. Yes, he did.
Yes.
He went 24-9. I'm sorry. No, you're right. You're right,
Yeah,
Mars. He didn't.
I
So,
had number 9, exactly.
but he has 2 games, Ox. He went 24, 11, and 9. He went 24, 9, and 10. He went
almost a
16, 8, and 10. He went 18.
Yeah.
He went
almost
17.
triple doubles.
I'm
Yeah,
almost
individual games.
losing my
Almost.
mind up here.
The averages, no, that's my point.
That's almost.
The
That's
individual
almost.
games, you can have almost a triple double. If you
It's not a
average 8
triple
assists,
double. It's not
if
a
you
triple double.
average
Mars,
8,
yeah.
you're not close. That's all I'm saying. If we're talking
And-
about averages and a single game, they're different things. In one game, if you have 21, 9, and 8, you almost had a triple double. After 10 games, if you have 21, 9, and 8, all of a sudden, you're 20 assists away from 10 assists per game. You're no longer close to averaging a triple double.
Mars, you'll
Either way, it don't matter.
Mars.
In the six finals runs playoffs, Scottie Pippen had more totals and everything than besides points than Michael Jordan. So that's not even a conversation.
Mars,
you talking about?
Mars,
I don't care.
I think
What's that
I
mean?
think,
My
I
point
think
is
you will.
simple.
Mars,
Go ahead,
Mars,
go
you
ahead,
might,
Pin.
you might not care. You might not care, Mars, but that's very relevant.
Go ahead,
To
man.
who?
That's
To what?
That's
Hold up, y'all. Let Pin
To the
get this off.
conversation.
To
Mars.
Scottie Pippen being top.
We'll get back to that in a second. That's not going nowhere. Pin,
Bang,
what's
bang.
up? Talk to us.
I do just want to say this very quickly before we let Dell say his 3 things. There are 3 ways to calculate an average, okay? And traditionally in basketball, we look at the mean, right? Which is all the numbers added up divided by
how many games?
the number of games, right?
Yes.
But there's also a different way, which is the mode or the median. So you could look at this differently. So let's say, for instance, across 4 games, right? The most middle game could be a triple double. Like hypothetically, let's just say, for instance, a guy has 20, 11, and 11, 20, 11, and 11, 20, 11, and 11, right? And then in the final game, he puts up 21 and 1 or 22 and 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
There is a version of math that says he was pretty much averaging a triple double
Wait, math
because
you don't
this
get pretty much in,
median
though.
or mode would say he averaged.
Math is an
triple-double.
exact science, though. How do you get pretty much in math?
Because
Okay,
there's 3
all right,
different
all right,
ways
this
to
is
look
gonna
at.
be-
There's 3
Yo,
different ways to look at a
please
middle.
Ron,
Yeah,
please,
yeah.
please stop.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
just,
yeah.
let's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like.
I don't know how
Pin,
this got
do you have a
brought up.
grading system in Canada?
Yo, what?
Yeah, of course.
What
Well,
are we
but
doing?
that would be
What are we
you.
doing?
That would be a 0. I would have got a 0 on that answer
Ron,
if I
I'm
wrote
gonna
that down.
start singing like we
No,
back
you
in
wouldn't have.
Turkey. I promise you.
All right, Dale, what's good? What's good? Talk to
Hey
us.
everyone, what we talking about? Median, math, averages, like what? What are we doing?
I don't know.
Ron, I'm not
Why
Ron.
failed
Mars,
us? I don't know why we
Mars.
lost.
I'm gonna help you. What you could have cooked them if you would have just said we're worried about him almost having triple double and he didn't even have a double double. You could have just said that and the topic could have been changed already.
Well, I didn't want to.
That's not
the topic back
necessary.
up.
That's not necessary. though.
That's not-
Well, the reason why it's not necessary because it's not true, because he did have a double-double.
Yeah, but this is what I'm just saying. He didn't average. I mean, he didn't average a double double, and worried about him averaging triple double. But look, I have 3 things. Y'all are all very nasty. The 3 things are: 1, ridiculous statements y'all have made the last 2 weeks.
What?
1, and it always comes back to me.
Oh,
The first one is
AD.
Fox over Kyrie. Whoa,
Oh yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, that was crazy. I agree with
I
you.
agree.
whoa,
You got Fox too, right?
whoa. And every slots get 5 or 7 minutes where y'all could explain yourself because I didn't see it. What are y'all talking about?
Ron said that.
That's Ron and Chill. Ron and Chill.
Yeah, we had nothing to do with that. We both were aghast at that.
That's not just Ron and Chill.
You two are the ones.
I wasn't here that day,
here?
but I wasn't here that day, but I'm jumping in.
But you don't defend
That's
Fox
3
anymore,
and
so
Jordan. That's
no,
4.
he doesn't
Jordan's
believe
not
that.
here. Jordan can't be up here to defend himself.
Swiper, let's not
I know
do
he's
this.
not here to
Swiper.
defend
I
himself.
saw you in the chat that day.
Yes, I'm saying if the people he said he could find
But I
7
still
minutes for
think he
people to
better.
defend the tape.
No, you
Jordan's not going to be up here to
said
defend the
you.
tape. So
I'm not going to go out of my way to
You said
defend.
he's a bum.
I'm not going to go out of my way to defend De'Aaron Fox no more. But if it gets brought up, I'm going to tell the truth. Like I
All
got.
right, but seriously though, how and what avenue of basketball?
Because he is more athletic. He's more athletic. He's a presupposed better defender, even though Kyrie's been a good defender the last 2 years.
Good is not better than De'Aaron Fox.
But when has Fox been?
Good is not better than De'Aaron Fox.
When has Fox been a good defender the last 2 years? Can you please give me an example of the situation? I don't want to hear. Go ahead. Because you said Fox was an elite defender, by the way, before the year started. I remember this conversation.
When is De'Aaron Fox playing defense and against who? What are y'all talking about?
He's
No,
okay.
he's not.
defensively.
Dell, you don't
He's not
even
a bad
watch the
defender.
Sacramento Kings. So
God.
cut the shit, Dell. Stop sitting here like you watch the Sacramento Kings.
Stop sitting here like who
Because if you
is
did,
Fox
you would
clamping?
know. That
Who is he clamping up?
Ain't nobody saying that he was clamping down.
Yeah,
He
no,
was a damn
no
good
defensive
defender.
vote,
He 100%.
none of that.
Yes, he
De'Aaron
does.
Fox.
He's
De'Aaron
great. He
Fox
was a
out of
damn
here.
good on-ball
You got
defender.
votes for all defense.
100% he did.
When's the last time that happened?
He didn't just get one.
When?
Man.
Oh, and in 20, I believe it was in, I want to say in 2023.
I'll see if De'Aaron
it was
Fox
in-
will
it
I
was in
want to
23 on
believe
all
it's
league defense.
2020.
Yes,
Wait, SGA got, but we just did it. SGA, never mind, because this
They
chill doesn't
always
even
want to
believe
run
that.
to the
In
defensive
2023.
side of the basketball.
SGA got more votes than Giannis. You don't think he's a better defender than Giannis?
Okay, you're the first one. To
In
come up here.
2023, De'Aaron Fox did not get a single all defense vote.
But why are we
Yo,
doing
yo,
this?
They were
Because
like the
we know
26th ranked
Kyrie-
defense in the
Kyrie-
regular season.
Bottom of this.
Does Kyrie play better defense than De'Aaron Fox?
In 2024,
No.
he did.
No.
He did in the playoffs. How about that?
No, he didn't. No, he
Yes, he
didn't.
did.
Mars, we
Yes,
don't
he
have to put
did.
this up. I just need y'all to just
Someone else
talk.
would have.
I don't care about the numbers. Just talk basketball to me, Chill, because you could talk basketball. I don't know who else said it. I don't want to hear Ox because he's
Ron.
biased or Ron because Ron yells,
Oh.
especially
So, Dell,
when his
Dell,
hood
my
is on.
logic
Tell me,
was, my logic
how
was
is
this
Fox better than Kyrie
year.
Irving in basketball?
We talking about this year.
All right.
We-
So, look. Before you go, De'Aaron Fox don't even believe he's better than Kyrie, but you could go.
So this season, so this season before he got hurt, and Kyrie Irving had gotten hurt before this season, better athlete, not just better athlete, better passer.
No,
better
he's
defender.
not. You keep
Once
saying
again.
this. He's not.
I think he's a better passer than Kyrie Irving. Yes,
This
I do
Kyrie
believe that.
passing myth
Yes.
is crazy.
What is
think
Fox
he's
as a passer?
okay?
One,
One, he's
Kyrie is a passer. When?
so
Kyrie, at least-
first and foremost,
Kyrie has
Piper,
shown consistently
he's
he's a really good passer. The
I think
issue
this-
with
I
you,
think he's
I
a
want to
better
know when was
connecting
Fox, when was his
I-
best passing season?
I think he's a better connecting passer. I think he's a better transition passer. I think he's a
not the
better
main
passer.
playmaker on his team.
Hold on. I'm gonna change the
The
topic.
bonus is a better passer playmaker than him.
Whenever we hear
Better
him,
passer
Better
than
than Kyrie.
whenever we hear connecting, passing, and transitioning passes, the conversation over. You still,
Why?
How is he better
That's-
at
that's-
basketball
that's-
than Kyrie Irving?
Okay, so now we're talking about basketball. Okay, so
That's what are you
Which
talking
is
about?
easy.
We've
We would-
always been
go-
talking
guys,
about basketball.
we
I have the same reaction every time. I have the same reaction.
Dell, we were talking about this season. That's what we were talking about this season. We were talking about top 10 guards because the conversation started with the top.
I don't even need to know the other 8. I still want to hear something where y'all really tell me De'Aaron Fox is better than Kyrie Irving in basketball. It's kind of asinine to me.
Dell,
Like,
is
come
there
on,
any?
yeah,
Dell, is there
bro,
anything that
that's
someone
it.
could say to you? Is there anything someone could say to you
nothing.
to change your mind?
No, nothing.
That Fox is better.
No.
You know what?
No. Answer
I
the
don't want-
question.
I don't want my mind.
Is there
to be changed.
anything someone
No,
could say to you?
not with
Okay,
Fox.
so then this is not a conversation.
Wait,
It really
hold
isn't.
on. But wait,
It really
but we have brought up several things Kyrie's better at, and then none of it is conceded except for
Just for
scoring.
the record, I think
And
Kyrie
we
is
brought
better.
up
Kyrie-
several things that De'Aaron's better at, and it just goes over you guys' heads.
Which things-
disagreed with them?
We already brought out
Did we
driving.
disagree with
Kyrie's a
defense?
better
No,
driver. We
let's
already
start
brought
with
this up. We
Let's
literally
stay
did
with
this
defense.
already.
Did we? Is
Defense
there a
got
disconnection on
conceded.
defense?
Defense was fine. We said you can have defense. And
Okay,
athletic.
so De'Aaron's better on half the court.
What?
If you view defense as
On
half
half
the game,
on
then sure.
half the
If you
court,
view-
he's better.
If you view defense and offense have 50-50 value, then sure. Yes.
They don't.
But I know you don't believe that. But if you want to say they do,
you can't say in one aspect. Let's say in one
Neither
aspect.
one of these players.
He's better in one aspect.
Neither one of these players is a 90th percentile
obviously
defender.
It's a disconnect. What's that? What's up?
Neither one of these defenders is a 90th percentile, 80th percentile, 70th percentile defender. Okay, none of them. Neither of them.
So
Neither one of them.
Fox ain't never been on an elite defense ever, by the way. Like he's never manned one ever. It's never happened. So
Kyrie
Kyrie hasn't either, but like Fox get this. You both called him an elite defender. You both did. Rod and Chill did. Ron, I go this way because I'm opposite. Ron and Chill did.
I think he's underrated defensively. I do.
He's not even close to
the league in the steals. Did he lead the league in steals last year?
I agree.
I don't think it was last year.
I think De'Aaron Fox has come close to leading the league.
Yeah, it was last year. He did.
He led the league in steals last year. That doesn't count as defense.
No, it was in 2020.
They're going to say no because they'll point to Steph Curry and James Harden.
Getting steals is a part of defense.
Hey, somebody was second in steals last year. I don't hear you big up in him.
No, actually, he does. He said Jacobs is the better defender.
Hey, am I lying?
Wait, hold on. Don't ever come at GOAT James Kingdom without me defending myself. I respect all seasonal title winners. Don't come at me like that. If you win a seasonal title, I recognize
what
that.
Seasonal title?
Not like y'all.
Being a scoring leader, being a rebounding leader.
Like a steals leader, shit like that.
Okay, but when I bring up steals, y'all don't count them for depending on the player if you like or don't like.
This is player's choice. We don't count half the shit.
Player's choice.
Make sure you get it correct. Because I said GOAT James Kingdom, and I'm bringing up a statistical stat that shows obviously De'Aaron Fox plays defense.
He does.
Way better than Kyrie, if you're gonna tell me that.
Not way better. It's just not way better.
I think he is a better defender than Kyrie.
But I just like he's such a flawed defender too. Like it's just, but it doesn't get brought up because nobody really, and respectfully, nobody really.
Kyrie Irving is a flawed defender. There's plenty of times that I've seen Kyrie Irving.
As a matter of fact, I'll be willing to bet over Ox. The only person who's watched more Kings game than me up here is Ox. But that's by nature. They're in the same division. I've been watching them. I've seen De'Aaron since 2017.
I lived in Sacramento for 7 years. I used to watch local games. They used to come on.
You don't watch the Kings anymore.
What's that going to do with De'Aaron?
Roommates. We was watching them together. What are you talking about?
I don't care about you and your roommate. I don't want to know if y'all are watching Sex in the City. I don't care. It don't matter. It don't bother me. I don't care. Well, watch what you want to watch.
Kentucky. I watched more in high school than you. I watched De'Aaron Fox play. I watched De'Aaron Fox pick up point guard.
Hey, guess what?
Turn him multiple times.
That's your opinion.
Is this comparison all time? Is this comparison all time?
No,
just even last
right
season.
now.
Right now.
Jay, when we had this conversation, this conversation was about the 24-25 season.
He's better than the last 2 or 3 years. He's been better than Kyrie Irving. Yes.
You are out of your freaking mind, blue shirt.
Blue shirt.
You are out of. Yo, one of Kyrie's best years was last year on that run to the finals. What are you talking about?
Thank you, Dale.
Talk
about defense on that run, Dale.
Yep.
What are you talking about?
5-5 on damn near 50-40-90 the whole year.
De'Aaron Fox had one hell of a year. The Sacramento Kings in the playoffs, I think they might have did something, made a lot of noise, had the purple towers in the stadium. Y'all go crazy. Fox is a very good player, but he should never, ever in his life or his NBA career be in the same sentence as Kyrie Irving.
That's incredible. That's
ever.
You just put him in the same sentence.
He should never be in the same NBA conversation as Kyrie Irving. They're walking two different pathways, two different lanes. Right now.
You're right. One guy is number two his way throughout his whole career. He's number two his way throughout his whole career. And we give him all this praise.
Who are you talking about? Darren Fox?
We're not talking about Jamal Murray. We're not talking about Jamal Murray. Hush, we're not talking about Jamal Murray.
Wait, when's the time De'Aaron Fox was the best player on his team? When's the last time De'Aaron Fox was the best player on his team? Answer the question.
When he took him to the playoffs.
When's the best? Because this I know y'all lie. Chill. You care about MVP voting. Where did Sabonis finish in MVP voting that year? Where did Sabonis finish in MVP voting that year, Chill? Seventh. Where was Fox?
Talk to him, swipe it.
Where was Fox?
Kobe, when he averaged 30 points, finished like 8th or 9th in MVP voting. I don't want to hear that.
What are you talking about?
You don't have to hear it. Chill cares about accolades. Sabonis factually finished on the same All-NBA team as De'Aaron Fox. Got more All-NBA votes than De'Aaron Fox. And finished higher in MVP.
This is a nasty pool, though.
And led
you
the
guys
league.
know this is a nasty pool. This is a nasty pool.
Because Sabonis is better than Fox, that makes Kyrie Irving better than Fox? That doesn't make sense.
No, because he's bringing an MVP vote. He said that. I'm going to set it up again. He said Kyrie, wrong. He's gotten away with being a number 2 his whole career. De'Aaron Fox has been a number 2 on all the best teams the Kings have had. Every one of them. Though. He's a number 2.
Number 2 right now.
With Victor Wembanyama. He's a number 2 with Domantas Sabonis. Domantas Sabonis finished top 10 multiple times in MVP voting. Where is De'Aaron Fox? As a teammate, where is De'Aaron Fox?
Told me that MVP votes don't matter.
You care about
that. That's right, 100%.
I don't care about MVP votes. But for you to be consistent, you said you care about leading the league in a subject.
100%.
You just said that 2 minutes ago. Led the league in rebounds. De'Aaron Fox in 2023 led the league in nothing. He led the league in nothing. Both of them made the All-NBA third team. Both of them were on the same All-NBA team. Domantas Sabonis had more All-NBA votes than De'Aaron Fox. That's something you care about.
I do.
De'Aaron Fox got less MVP votes than Domantas Sabonis. That's something you care about.
That's right,
so on
I do.
The third team in the West, one guy led the league in a statistical category. One guy had more MVP votes. One guy got more All-NBA votes. That guy, in your estimation, why is he not better? To you. Not to me.
Let Chill answer.
Hold up, y'all, because I think Dale's on a time restriction. So Dale, go, and he brought up these points. He wanted to talk about them. So let's go to your next point, Dale.
No way, on the Fox thing, you can't bring up Fox as a number 2 and Kyrie because no team you replace them. You put Fox with LeBron James. Things don't go the same. There's no 2016 comeback with De'Aaron Fox instead of Kyrie.
It's no come down. They're not down
all
with
time. All time is different. You say all
okay,
time.
They're not down with De'Aaron Fox.
Yo, listen to me, Ron, and your hoodie. There's no way in hell you think Fox could shoot like Kyrie Irving.
No, he can't.
Exactly. So they're getting swept.
But he does other things better than him.
I don't think that.
Kyrie averaged 30 points in the last 5 games of the 2016 finals on God
like 9 years though.
Right. Give me a break.
That's not what I'm saying.
Can you answer Mars's question, please?
I'd like to get
what happens there.
Gigi, can Chill answer Mars's question, please? And can we get a straight answer?
Hold up, though.
Swiper,
Dale got some points. So go ahead, Dale. What you got for us next?
The next one is for Swiper.
Got him.
Tibbs.
Yeah, you thought it was all fun and games.
Conversation. Go ahead, Dale. We friends.
Tibbs. They said, what did you say again about Tibbs? Hold on.
About who?
Tibbs.
Oh, I just don't think he's a great coach.
Probably think that Tibbs is an overrated coach.
I don't think he's one of the best coaches in the league, no.
How many coaches are we ranking for you to say he's overrated?
Overrated? I think he shouldn't have won Coach of the Year in 21. I think that should have went to Monty.
I think he's asking how many coaches do you have above him?
Okay, but him winning over another, like, that's not him being overrated. He was deserving of that.
No, I don't think he was more deserving than Monty Williams.
Your choice was Monty Williams, but Tibbs was also deserving of Coach of the Year.
No,
I wouldn't have been fine if Monty got it as well. I promise you.
But Monty had a better team, better record all the way around, and then in a tougher conference. And I thought that the reason he won was a lot because of New York bias. It's why Tom Thibodeau won that. They won 50 games that year. I think even. Yeah, I think the other team. I think this a 64-win team with the Suns. Was a 57-win team. It was one of those teams. They were number 1 in the Western Conference going away. Yeah, they were the best team in the West going away. I thought he should have won.
This was Tibbs' first year in New York, correct? Yes or no?
I don't remember if that was his first year.
I think this was his first year. The Knicks was horrendous the year before, and you know how often
games.
And you know how often the coach of the year doesn't it goes to a team that's like kind of a most improved award instead of really what's going on.
Yeah,
I
think he wasn't a better coach that year.
Yeah, I agree. Monty did a hell of a job as well. So that's not. But that's not an answer to someone being overrated. That's
you asked me one section. I don't think he's better than Malone. I don't think he's better than Kerr. I don't think he's better than Pop. Not in the league anymore. This is where the conversation started.
Malone's not actually.
Yeah, I think Malone's clearly a better coach. I don't think he's better than Spo. I don't think he's better than. I mean, even just. I think Mike Brown's a better coach. I like what Mike Brown did with Sacramento Kings before. Going to the Eastern Conference, I think Joe's a better coach. I think that Kenny Atkinson's a better coach. Joe Mazzulla, Kenny Atkinson.
Okay.
I think that. I mean, it just depends. Like, there's probably at least 8 million I would say better coach.
You name all those names. Why is Steve Kerr a better coach than him?
Why is
exactly. Yeah, I don't
6'5" coach ever.
Okay, why? Just answer the question. You're going with his numbers, and
I think that Steve Kerr revolutionized the NBA. I think that he took the personnel that he had with the Golden State Warriors, and then I think he put the system in place, especially the off-ball step system in place, for the Warriors to become what they were, and for every iteration of the Warriors ever since to have been an elite team when they have a competent roster around them. And I think he was the one that did that. As good as their previous coach was. He's the one that built the system for the Steph Curry off-ball dynamic and for Klay Thompson. So he gets all the credit for that, for doing that. That was him. And so to me, he's an elite coach. And I think every year he's coached an elite defense for the most part, even though having Steph Curry on the court. He's even coached Steph Curry to being one of the better defenders amongst the guards in the league because he's a playable player within the system, obviously. I think he got the best out of Draymond. He's got the best out of Kevon Looney. Jordan Poole's best season was with Steve Kerr, I think, for a reason, especially when Steph Curry went down. Jordan Poole had a 24-game stretch where he was averaging 21 a game on crazy efficiency. I think the way that he's gotten people involved off the ball in particular, he used Draymond in ways that I don't think maybe 4 or 5 other coaches could have done. Draymond at that time had no volatility offensively. Steve Kerr built the system around Dre, Klay, and Steph. In 2012-13, he went into the playoffs in 12-13 as the underdog, beating a higher seed, and then over the course of that time, from 14 to now. You said what?
That was Mark Jackson who did that.
Yep. No, 12-13. So, yeah, so 12-13, I'm saying, got the year. So 12-13, I'm saying they had that year. They obviously beat the Nuggets. And then the 13-14 season happened. I think once Steve Kerr took over the system, that's what I was saying. So you're right. Once Steve Kerr took over the system, I think they went from it to a different team.
Yeah,
14.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a great start from that point, but I'm saying after that is when he took over the reins, and then they became an elite.
Let me ask you a question now.
Then Mike Brown's, I think, speaks for itself. I think Mike Brown is great in every system. He got scapegoated in LA. I think he got scapegoated by Vivek in Sacramento this year. He coached them to their best season they've ever had. He had the best offense ever in 22-23, and then he got the best out of Sabonis to chill stuff like top 7 MVP candidate. De'Aaron Fox had his best season with him. He got a 60-win team with LeBron James in 2009, 10, if I remember correct, 66 wins. And then he got fired. Like got scapegoated for the whole thing because we know what happened with that. And then literally goes to the Lakers, gets scapegoated after a year and a half, or not even a year and a half, a year and a quarter of a season. And then he comes back to the Kings. He's in lead again. And then he got Jordy Fernandez. He's the one that got Jordy Fernandez on the roster to get ready for the Brooklyn job. I think he did a great job with that. I mean, all the way around. Like, I think Mike Brown has proven at every single stop when he's gotten an opportunity, he's been an elite coach. And he also
so has Tom Thibodeau. So my question is not you naming everything you're naming.
Yeah.
I could sit here and be rambling for Tibbs too. So
about what?
He got coaching.
I'm asking
here,
though. I'm just asking.
Playing with coaching the Chicago Bulls. So after Jordan era best seasons, Minnesota after the early 2000 elite defense best season, coming back with 4 straight years of Knicks improvement. So if your basis is the improvement of the players. You said what? He has what?
They got Karl-Anthony Towns. So I think their biggest improvement was getting a real all-NBA player to replace Julius Randle, who wasn't good. Julius Randle, by the way, was never good in the playoffs with Tibbs. Granted,
Julius is an all-NBA.
Time out.
Julius Randle was all-NBA 2021 in the regular season.
They went to Game 7 against the Pacers with no Randle in the playoffs.
Wait, hold on.
But then I think one of the biggest criticisms for Tom Thibodeau, even for New York Knicks fans, is his rotations, how he plays players, and I think the overuse of players. I also said this in the regular season. I don't like that he has 3 of the top 5 most played players in the NBA. I think he over relies on the starters. I don't like that. I also do think that he wears his player down over the course of the season. I said that also before the season started. I said that during the Chicago Bulls era. Well, we didn't know each other. I said that during the Minnesota Timberwolves era, which he also got ran out of Minnesota. Like, I think there's a clear delineation here with Tibbs. I think he is limited in some of the things he does outside of his starters. I think he over relies on players too much. He doesn't utilize his bench better than a lot of players in the league. And even though, like, Ox is saying, this is about basketball. You have to coach. When it comes down to coaching the 6 through 9 on his roster, I think he does a worse job at it than other coaches in the league relative to his peers. And I think he doesn't get enough out of the second unit or out of secondary players on his roster relative to other coaches in the league. And those are all criticisms that he's had since the Wolves, and now even with the Knicks. And who agrees with me with the Knicks is Leon Rose and James Dolan, because they got rid of him for a reason.
Can I quickly just point to...
Wait. How many players in the Tibbs era are players that we can say that he drafted were supposed to be that type of guys? Other than outside of like a Derrick Rose, Well,
Jimmy Butler became an all-star player. I think Jimmy created that
himself. Was you can't say that Steve Kerr made Draymond, made a system for him and made
the offense work around an offensive player.
But then you can't limit Tibbs as a coach in drafting Jimmy Butler and
he didn't draft Jimmy Butler.
He wasn't there.
No, he was the coach, but he wasn't the GM that drafted Jimmy Butler. I'm saying that
he gets
credit for coaching them to being what they are.
Time out.
Yeah.
You don't think he has a?
I don't know about the dynamics in in the front office.
I'm telling you that's the dynamic.
But I didn't give Kerr credit for drafting Dre, Clay, or
It's
Steph.
not about drafting him. It's like Jimmy. I'm not talking about drafting him. He was on the team, and he's got better in Chicago.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler did. Yeah, agree.
Yes, under Tom Thibodeau.
I agree. But what is that? So you're saying some of that is crediting to the player has to get better though. Like, but even with that,
but you didn't say
Derrick Rose
you
was an MVP. Jimmy Butler became an All-Star player.
You labeled Kerr for all these players. You said Jordan Poole had his best year because of Kerr. You did all of these things. That's what you
I think he created offensive system. Yes, the offensive system around those players.
So Jalen Brunson had his best 2 years under.
And to be fair, I gave him credit earlier in the year for rebuilding the offense around Cat and Brunson. But the biggest criticism about Tibbs isn't utilizing his stars. It's around the other things on the roster that he doesn't do as well as other coaches.
I guess because I played basketball overseas for 13 years, I would love a coach like Tom Thibodeau that believed in me so much. That's how I look at it.
Unless you were on the bench.
I'm getting to that. If you're on the bench for Tibbs, you're on the team with a contract. I don't feel you have to go and show that you can play and do all these things. This is how I look at it. I don't think he walk into it I'm gonna X this out and I'm just gonna play these 6 guys. I don't believe that. This is just me personally.
Every year he does that. He doesn't believe he's gonna do that.
How many guys that was written on his bench that went somewhere else and just became so nice that damn Tibbs didn't play this guy? I'm asking you. How many guys
became so nice?
How many guys at Tibbs bench that he sat in Chicago, he sat in Minnesota, he's sitting in New York right now that would leave after this year and go somewhere else and get the minutes that y'all think they deserve? Tell me.
That we think they deserve, or utilizing the personnel to the best of his ability?
Oh, utilizing personnel to the best of abilities. Go ahead. Whichever one you want to use.
I think that was the criticism in the playoffs. That
I don't care
wasn't
about
utilizing his team.
Tell me.
I do. We just came off a playoff in which he just got fired for partially not doing that well enough. That's a part of it.
Are idiots. Who goes fire a coach for 4 years of improvement with no backup plan?
No backup plan. I mean, I can't speak to the backup plan. He got fired with the Wolves too.
You fired 4 coach. You fired one of the best coaches the Knicks have historically for the Knicks.
For the Knicks, yeah.
And what you're doing is, I'm gonna ask this coach that got a job. This coach. I thought the Knicks fired him to hire somebody like a Mike Malone. Easy said, done. But they fire him to host of Jason Kidd, host of Ime Udoka. Who does that?
Shit, they fired Dwayne Casey on his day off, ain't it? Shit. Yeah, trophy.
We ain't even talking about that. To Dell's point, you have to have a plan, and they didn't.
Well, I think their plan was to go after Jay Kidd or one of them, but like that's not nothing to do
with
your
plan. Can't be to go after someone employed. I'm sorry.
I don't think they made it, but I also don't think they made a good decision. The criticism
breaking up with my wife, and I'm gonna take your wife. No,
but
it's not the way that works.
The criticism though is not about like them having a good backup plan. I don't care about their backup plan, but I do think there's something to if you tell me in the league that I can have Pop, I can have Malone, I can have Spo, I can have several different coaches. I would rather have those coaches. That's where the whole criticism came from. If you want to say that he's one of the upper tier top 15 coaches in the sport, I'm good. But the criticism is I don't think he's an upper tier coach relative to the other players or other coaches in the league that I will all take over him. I think there's reasons why. I do think their coaches better at getting the most out of their personnel. I think getting the most out of the bench, getting the most out of the young guys, and developing rotations that can take them through the regular season and through the playoff. Rick Carlisle, for one. Rick Carlisle's another dude. Rick Carlisle now got blamed, got kicked out of the Mavs, and then he rebuilt the system with the Mavericks. He rebuilt the system with the Pacers, and he outcoached Tibbs, I think, with lesser upper tier talent, and then still was able to find a way using 11-man personnel in a playoff setting.
Let me ask you a question.
What's the next question?
Are you saying he outcoached Tibbs because they won?
No, I think he countered. I'm speaking. I think he countered what Tibbs was doing consistently. And there was even a point in which I brought up during the Knicks Pacers series, in which when Tibbs was trying to hide Jalen Brunson, Rick Carlisle would counter with Jalen Brunson by bringing a third man into the action, back screening for the defender that was replacing Jalen Brunson to take over the defensive responsibility, and they were getting cuts to the rim off of it. I mean, we brought this up during the playoffs, like during the actual series going. I think Carlisle coached.
Somebody else has said that to me, and I don't, and they said they didn't answer like you just did, but they said, well, they won the series. I don't think the coach that won the series outcoached the other coach. That's why I asked you for detailed points, because this is. I had Knicks in 6 or 7. I had Knicks in 6, 7. Come on, big Knicks fan, right? The series went as it's supposed to me, except the last freaking minute and 4 seconds of game 1. When you take outside of total coaching out the window, the Knicks just shit the bed. So you can say all the coaching dynamics that you want. Game one, the Knicks have the game in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
What's
I
his
mean,
name?
we can say that about multiple series with the Pacers at this point, though.
Oh, but I'm talking about the Knicks, and that's why you could say it's coaching. You say it's the grit, the people, the believing, all that stuff. You could say all that stuff. But then when you go against the Knicks, coming back twice against the Celtics, you're not calling on coaches. You're not calling on them same tired players that's been playing the whole game. You're just calling on Knicks have the luck and all that stuff. You're not doing that. And when the Knicks came back from 20 points against the Celtics, I didn't hear no one on this panel look at Joe Mazzulla. I didn't hear it. Maybe
there were plenty of people that were saying Joe Mazzulla's not doing a good enough job.
I'm saying this panel. I didn't hear nothing about that. I'm saying on this panel, I didn't hear it. Maybe
like today.
Yes, we did. 100%. We talked about Joe Mazzulla.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it. He didn't utilize his timeouts nearly as much as he should have. We definitely talked about that.
Okay, yes. I didn't hear it.
We didn't talk about them.
You know,
I don't think you was listening, Dale, because we definitely was critical.
Choose when we want to and who we want to rip and go crazy on this, that, and third. But go ahead.
I think this is worth noting. I was looking back. Do y'all realize Allen Iverson played 45 minutes a game in the playoffs for his career?
Yeah,
that's crazy, right?
Oh.
So here's the thing: pace matters when it comes to minutes and load. The number of times you got to turn ends, the number of times you're running out and transition stuff. Tom Thibodeau has historically coached some of the slowest teams in the league. When he was with Chicago, in terms of pace, they were always in the bottom third, 29th, 28th, 30th, 23rd, whatever. They were the slowest teams. They like to grind it out, right? So we get caught up in the media narrative of this guy's playing too many minutes, this guy playing too many minutes. How many possessions are they playing? I think that matters. Number two, were players actually breaking down under Tibbs this year? OG Anunoby just played 74 games. Historically, he's been very injury prone.
Yes,
he just played an almost complete
last year. Yeah.
Well, hang on. With the Raptors, this guy consistently missed 20 to 30 games every single year. He just had his healthiest year since his rookie season when he was playing a very low minute load. This is, to me, an overreaction. Okay. And I think the overreaction to firing Tom Thibodeau, and I'm not necessarily debating that, he didn't need to get fired, because I don't view coaches getting fired as this is a terrible coach. I view it as you needed to go another direction. Maybe you could find another direction in a different voice. If the players want to play for somebody else, fine. But I refuse to believe that Tom Thibodeau is not a top 15 coach in the league. That's crazy to me. Number one.
15's fine.
Historically, he has been. And when he got to Chicago, he turned them around by 20 wins.
No, because the criticism that I had was that he's not an upper tier coach. And I think that Monty should have won coach of the year. Like 15 is cool. That's whatever.
Honestly, I think he's a top 10 coach, but whatever. That's me. I think he's a great coach. He gets great buy-in, great commitment from his players. I do think players get better. But to me, Thibodeau is very old school. So if you want to play for him, you got to show him why I got to play you. And if you show him, he will play you. We saw young Jimmy Butler go from rookie to the minute leader to the leader of Chicago pretty much through 4 years because Jimmy showed that he can play. So Tibbs is like, he's not in that whole, like, you got a contract, so you got to play type of thing. He's very old school. One could argue maybe that old school mentality doesn't work with new school players, but I certainly don't necessarily think that. I don't think that Thibodeau is the problem in New York. I think they overreacted because they thought they were the better team. I thought they were internally, when they were making this meeting, I think their internal calculus said we should have beat the Pacers.
Yes.
And I think they might be thinking right now, as the Pacers are up 2-1, oh shit, maybe this Pacers team is much better than all of us thought.
If OKC doesn't do the same thing,
that's my next question. If Pacers win the championship, do OKC fire their coach?
No.
Why?
For several different reasons.
So just tell me a couple.
Youngest team in the league, number one.
A couple,
number two, they have intense buy-in with him. Number three, they actually have said, Sam Presti has said with Mark Daigneault, they've never judged him on wins. They've only judged him on culture, implementation, development. So even this year, as they are championship favorites, they were not championship favorites to start the season. Right. That was Boston. So because they're here right now, they're not going to be like, okay, well, we gotta turn it over. I think he would have to do something crazy for them to view it that way.
Now I'm going to tell you why the Knicks firing is idiotic to me. Do you know the Knicks going into next year will be the favorite to come out the East, no matter what the Pacers do?
No, they will not.
Why?
If the Pacers win the NBA championship, they will not be the objective favorite.
Are you
because I got Philly and
Durant or something? Like why?
I think the Knicks will be favorable Philly. You Swipe, if they win, you could say the Pacers. You could say the Pacers, but I think the overwhelming of the Knicks were a better team than the Pacers.
Who said that?
This Raptors disrespect going way too far.
No, wait, hold on. Who said that? Who said that? Don't do Euro.
This is me. Wait,
you did hear that right, bro.
Wait, why did he bring up?
Nobody is picking
No.
I like Brandon.
Wait,
fuck out of here, Mars.
So Swiper, you walk. I know Ron would have been with Indiana because Ron got tired.
Yeah, I picked Indiana.
You picked Indiana as well?
Yes. Leaning 5. 6 leaning 5.
Oh, against the Knicks?
Indiana. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just better overall team. Yeah. By
I had Knicks in 6.
I wasn't particularly
good, dog.
I wasn't particularly.
I have one more tips question for you, Swiper. I think only you could answer it. Who is the best player he's ever coached, you think?
Ever? Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Thank you.
D Rose.
D Rose is the best player Tibbs has ever coached, right?
Should've
That
won
MVP year, correct, right?
Shouldn't have won MVP 2011.
I agree. So all the coaches you've brought up, could you go through the coaches you brought up to me for the most part, like the Spos, the Steve Kerrs, all of these? Do you know their roster? Like they have a very easier road in terms of coaching.
No, Eric Spoelstra, absolutely 100% no. 2 NBA finals with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero and Gabe Vincent and all that. No. They smoked the prohibited favorite to come out of the Eastern Conference in 5 games. Now, granted, Giannis missed 2 of those games.
Wait, did y'all see that?
The Knicks smoked the Celtics.
Wait, did y'all see that?
I'm going through the whole round. Go ahead.
Didn't Erica
about the teams that won the most games with
I said his whole roster
being the under,
including the LeBron James and the D Wade.
I know, but I'm going through even recent history. And both made 2 finals in the last 5 years.
No, I understand that, but that doesn't change what I'm trying to say.
No, I'm just, you asked me
with
to
the guy
name the
that
teams,
Tom
so
Thibodeau developed. Oh.
I'm trying to say to you what,
True.
And then let's go to Steve Kerr. Who did he have? He has
he has Steph Curry, Dre, Clay, Kevin Durant, Sean Livingston,
and ready after Mark Jackson
Brandon
showed
Rush.
them the way. After Mark Jackson showed them the way.
McCall.
Would Mark Jackson have used Draymond Green the way that Curry used Green?
Alfonso McKinney.
I think you're not looking. You're looking at Tibbs based on, I play basketball players too much playing basketball. Now, I don't get that.
Yo,
you know what's crazy? I look back 11 years. He had 10 guys averaging over 20 minutes a game.
I'm going to the roster because the roster make the coaching better. That's all. That's it.
Well, that's every coach, though.
Better.
Agree.
No, but you're down in Tibbs and saying all this stuff when you're not giving. I don't think you just.
You're saying I'm comparing him to other coaches that I think are better, are elite.
Is he better than Doc Rivers, Swiper?
Yes.
All right, that's all I care about.
He was Doc Rivers.
Do you think Doc Rivers is better, Dell? Because he has more wins than him and a ring.
Do I think Doc Rivers is? He got that ring with Doc too. Do I think Doc?
He was his assistant coach. He wasn't the head coach. Head coach obviously gets more credit.
Assistant coaches get rings.
Yeah, of course. Well, everyone does, and interns get rings in the right organization.
Tom Thibodeau was responsible for that.
Intern was,
and they won a championship.
No, I'm saying, but like, no, he said, no. If you're an intern in a good organization, you should get a ring. But that's another story. I'm not going to expose you.
You do not.
I'm not. I got one more question.
Yeah. What's your third question? Because we got to get into these super chats and stuff.
All right, good. My next question, I'm not going to ask it. I'm going to just ask you, Ron, because I didn't get the question. Someone wrote me and said, Kevin Durant was in the top 10 player in the 2000s. Is it 2000 to 2010 or 2000 to 2000?
No, 2000.
Over the last 25 years, so from 2000 to today, there's 10 players better than Kevin Durant.
Yeah, where does Kevin Durant rank since 2000? Yeah, among all players.
No, I'm asking Ron because Ron did his little thing. So is it Ron? Just please tell me because I want to hang up. Please tell me it's from 2000 to 2010 because if it's that length, I agree with you.
It's from 2000 to 2025.
It was the last
25 years.
I'll give you even some more grace. It's the last 25 years.
That was so New York.
Ron, please.
Tracy McGrady was put over him.
Ron, please.
Oh, come on.
I didn't. On my list, I didn't have Tracy McGrady. I just
agreed when I have to
yesterday.
You did. You had to.
No, I did agree. But y'all remember when I initially did the list like 6 months ago?
It's more people.
It wasn't that long ago.
It's more people agree with you that in the last 25 years, Kevin Durant was in the top 10 player in the NBA. It's like people agree with you. Other than you saying that,
everybody up here agrees with the name.
No.
Multiple
no,
names.
No.
Multiple
no,
names.
No.
So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to see everybody that agrees with me. So let's do this one more time.
We agree with some of the names.
That's what I'm saying. You guys might not agree with all 10. Everybody might not agree with all 10.
Kevin Durant is the
Go ahead,
best
Ron. Go
player
ahead.
of the last
Go ahead.
5
Get it on.
years. Yes, you don't.
Go ahead. I need to hear the shit.
Shaquille O'Neal. I think this is unanimous. Even Dale would agree with Shaq.
Since 2000.
Well, 2000 happened, and 2000.
Yes,
Shaq.
2000.
Everybody at their apex.
What do you mean?
Everybody
no? What are you talking
at their
about? No,
apex.
of course it's peak
Okay,
Shaq.
so
It's better.
Shaq's career started in 2000.
Listen to the context.
Are we doing peak for peak? What are we doing?
Everybody at their apex as a basketball player.
So the best version of Shaq.
The best version of all these guys
2000.
versus the best version of Kevin Durant, whatever year you want to take. 14, 16, 21, whatever version.
Careers since 2000. Okay.
No, not careers.
I mean, 22, 23. Next KD when he was at 28.
Yeah, Shaq clears.
I think
them 3 years. Why are we doing this? 2000 to 2002.
I don't know.
It's better than anything that KD did.
I don't know.
Okay,
Just Shaq. I agree.
What are we doing? Go ahead, Ron.
Shaq is better. This is unanimous. Kobe. This should be unanimous.
Kobe, yes. Cool.
I'm with that.
Tim Duncan. This should be unanimous.
Cool.
Dell?
I'm waiting for to finish the 10.
All right.
Cool.
If this nigga right, I'm be mad.
I had Steph in there. Now, some people may push back on that, but it's people up here that agree with it.
I agree with that. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
All right, keep going.
Kevin Garnett was on there.
All right, I gave it to KD.
I'll go KG.
I got KD.
Okay, but it's a good amount of people up here that agree with KG.
I'll go KG.
Keep pushing.
Yeah, I
Keep
can't do
6.
Keep pushing.
I had.
You haven't said LeBron yet. You know.
Oh, LeBron. There we go. LeBron.
Of course.
No pushback. All right, that's 6.
Correct.
Now,
Six,
we may get some more pushback than these other 6, but let's get into it.
I'm at 5.5. Yeah, that's fine.
Jokic.
You said
Yeah, most people agree with that one up here.
I'm at 6.5.
Oh, now most people agree with it. Swipe.
No, most did. We already did this list 2 months ago, Matthew.
I'm at 6.5.
Most people agree.
I'm at 6.5.
I got KD.
Yeah, Ox is one of the ones, and Ox is one of the ones. So most people, yeah.
We got Jokic.
I'm at 6.5.
And then you,
Giannis.
I'm at 7.
We're at 8. Keep going, Ron.
I'm at 7.
Keep going, Ron.
Dwayne Wade.
No.
Fudge.
Nah.
Keep going,
I'll
Ron.
talk about it for sure.
I go KD. I go KD.
yeah, I have Kevin Durant.
And then at number 10, Ron, you
What about
have.
Dirk? What about Dirk?
I go KD. I go KD.
KD? All right, cool. KD.
And at number 10, Ron.
Who else?
Kawhi Leonard.
I go KD. I go KD.
Peak for peak, I got Kawhi. And KD and KD was my favorite player growing up.
There you have it, Dale. Those are 10 guys you got, Ron.
For peak.
Those are 10 guys you got, Dale.
You know, Dale, what you think?
Honestly, this is gonna be probably quick and understandable. I take LeBron James, right?
Okay.
Kobe.
Okay.
Who else might
Shaq?
be up there? Nope. And
No.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Hey,
Just let him get his list off. Let him get his list off.
Hold on. Shaq 100%. 2000 to 2002, 2003, beautiful, amazing. Shaquille O'Neal, most dominant.
After that, he was
right?
cheeks though. I agree.
4, 5, 6 with Dwayne
So
Wade.
you factoring in
They're
longevity?
talking about peak, though. They're talking about peak.
Because he said 25 years.
If you factor in longevity, then I go KD even higher. Yeah,
You have to because
You have to count. You have to count
25
everything.
years,
That's what
Ron.
I'm saying.
He said for 25 years. So from when KD entered in 2007,
We're having
to
two
right
different
now,
conversations.
that's
Dale,
bro.
that's not the conversation.
What is the
Ron was
conversation?
saying
Where's the highest peak?
He wants him to go by peak.
Peak
By
for peak.
First of all,
If
you
we're
didn't say
talking
that.
straight
You didn't say
career,
that. You didn't
you
say
don't
that.
have
say that.
5 players better than KD.
Oh,
Right.
You said you didn't say that. I didn't
Yeah,
hear the highest
Ron was
peak.
saying peak for peak. Ron was saying
You
peak
didn't
for
say
peak.
peak for peak. He just
I
named
did
the
say that.
players.
He did.
The
He
best-
said everyone at their
Even
best.
peak
That's what
for
he
peak,
said.
there's not 10. Even peak for peak, there's not 10
Yeah,
players.
I don't get
for
the
peak, I
10.
got Kawhi over
but
Shaq.
Peak, yes.
Peak for
Okay,
peak.
peak Shaq that year, of course. 100%.
Did no one
Yeah,
say
yeah.
what you said?
Yeah.
What's
that- But
Mark.
I agree.
Yeah, we studied Kawhi over
So
Shaq. I never want to stay quiet.
Shaq, Kobe, and
For
LeBron.
peak.
Go ahead.
Shaq,
Bro, I think peak Kawhi.
Yeah,
is
man.
deadly.
Shaq,
Let's get off.
Kobe,
You don't
LeBron.
even believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Duncan.
Jesus Christmas. I don't.
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
Kevin Garnett.
And maybe Joker.
Garnett, stop, Ron, stop, please, come on, stop, bro.
But Dale, don't say it like that. It was
stop, Ron. Because you gotta get off
Kevin Garnett is Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan at their peak are right next to each other.
Stop it.
Throughout his
wait, Dale, you don't think that from put your headphones back on, Dale. Put your headphones back on. Wait, you don't think from 04 to 8 that Kevin Garnett is better than KD? From 4 to 8?
Okay. Look,
I just off and get mad. Say yes to I got mad because I agree.
What are we looking at when we're talking about KD though? In terms of like you just said, Swiper, you said, are we looking at 04 Garnett to 08? We looking at 2000 Shaq to 02? Where are we looking at Kevin Durant? This nigga won his first scoring title at 21, wasn't it? So where exactly are we starting and ending with him?
And that's my point.
For me, I'm looking at 2014 to 17.
Finished having 27 just now. Like
I said, the 42 game sample size with the Nets, before he got traded, were pretty, all time great.
KD's definitely. I only think I got to 5.5.
Okay, forget single year. If we're just talking 4-year samples,
average is better than some of these dudes' peak.
Okay, hang
on. KD won his first scoring title at 21. Shaq led the league in scoring at
2000 to 2004.
KD had 4 scoring titles before 25.
That was in the 90s. That was in the 90s.
That's 0. KD have no conversation with peak Shaq. A lot of players don't have no conversation.
We talking modern basketball. We talking modern NBA. Modern times.
Even though in 2000 he led the league in scoring too. Don't leave
we counted that. We counted that.
Stand on your cousin, bro. Stand on him. Yes, sir.
But I think everyone agreed peak Shaq is better than KD. I think everyone agreed.
Right up for discussion.
You don't have to bring up that. I didn't know it was peak. Yeah, come on. No one, honestly, peak Shaq, like, stop. Just leave him alone. Y'all might take peak Jokic. Stop. I have
nobody's taking peak Jokic.
I'm going to Shaq over Jokic. Shaq's better than Jokic.
Nobody would ever KD.
It's Shaq, peak Shaq.
Oh yeah, okay. I thought you were talking about KD. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I want to hear the argument of peak Leonard over peak KD.
Please, that's not an argument. I'm about to get off the show. That's not even a conversation for me. Like, stop.
You've already heard that argument. I cooked Dale on that already.
That's not even.
There's a whole video of me cooking Dale on that already.
Yeah, that's not.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
You know, some people that
you was there. We did it in person.
Some people that debate.
Oh, that's right. We was. That's Indiana.
Chill. He got amnesia.
Some people that debate for peak Kawhi, they just do it because it's like something to do. They don't look at basketball and be like, yeah, that peak Kawhi is really better. Like, stop. It's like some people shouldn't be even in a conversation. Like, I wouldn't even debate a peak Shaq versus a lot of players ever.
I agree.
Just because
you ain't see what Kawhi was doing to KD in 23?
Oh, word? That's
23. 2 games. A game and a half.
Yo, that's what's up. All you got to say
a game and a quarter and a half.
What about 17? What about what he was doing to KD in 17?
What about 19 when KD went into Toronto and put 47 on him?
All you got to say is that's cool, but I love y'all. I see y'all.
These are two great players. Somebody gonna win one. Somebody gonna win another one. You know what I'm saying?
What about when 15 dropped the 35 point triple double in the playoffs on KD?
Him acting like Kawhi peak ain't on to the same level of KD's peak is. That's not right. That's not right for him to do that.
Yo, Zizi,
Kawhi peak on the same level as Shaq. So,
Zizi, I know you came up here. I know you had something to get off. Before you do that though, right quick, let me read my man Arch's $100 super chats. He sent 3 that have went on red. So let me go ahead and do Arch's due diligence. Zizi's gonna go ahead and get off his chest whatever he needs to get off, and then we got a million other super chats. You guys have spoken.
I really want to get
what De'Aaron Fox.
Do the
all right, we can get that into. We can get that into.
Super chat first, and then
I'm gonna read Arch. ZZ gonna say what he gotta say.
Marsh, remind me what I asked.
And then we'll get to the De'Aaron Fox, and then I'm gonna get to the rest of these super chats. Salute to everybody that's in here. Make sure you turn on your notification bells.
Wait for Chill.
Like the video, subscribe. And my man Arch has spoken. He said, "So all of you picked the Bucks. So all of you picked the Bucks, and you were trolling Ron for picking the Bucks all playoffs."
No,
I wasn't trolling Ron for picking the Bucks. I just don't like that.
I
just don't like that he's the Pacers representative. I feel like we could find a better Pacers.
Yeah, I agree. Me. I elect myself.
Oh, now you brought up like 17 Knicks fans during the playoffs. You can't find one Pacers fan?
Damn.
Where are they? I'll bring them up. I would love for them to bring them up.
We met them when we were in San Fran.
Hey, Pacers fans, hit me up on Instagram.
So legitimately,
Ron.
the only person
Ron.com.
up here,
Hit up the Players Choice account. I would love for us to run victory laps around every New York Knicks, Cavaliers fans.
Stop
Include me in that
sitting up
group.
here like you're the
Include me in that
resident
group,
Pacer guy.
Turn it over a
When
new
in
league.
Amongst you guys, I am.
No, you're not, Ron. Here's why
Amongst
you're
you
not, Ron,
guys, I
because
am.
I vividly remember
you're not.
In January, in February, when they started rolling, it was Swiper
Yeah.
was the one who was talking about the Indiana Pacers.
So
Ron,
who was talking about him last
you
playoffs?
were talking about Haliburton. That's who your guy is.
That's it.
I was talking about Haliburton, who happens to play for the Pacers.
You are a player stand. You're a player stand. That's it. That's it. You're a player stand. That's it.
Not only were you
I thought Ron said
You're a
players
player
missed
stand
that.
too.
No, I'm not. I
Yes,
support the
you are.
Pacers.
You're the biggest player stand.
Pacers.
You're the
In
biggest
fact-
player stand.
Hey, guess what? You'll never have a team again. How about that? Don't you suck on that.
fact,
Anyway,
You're,
what else
you're
is
the
there?
only stand that can hold up a 450-pound mammoth man. You.
I'm
That's
from Denver.
not
I don't know what to
only
tell
you
you. I'm
not
from
only
Denver,
was you
Colorado.
not-
So you're not going to
not
get that
only
off
was
on
he
me,
not
Kyle.
Not only was Swiper, not only was he not bigging up Indiana during that stretch when they started rolling. This was last season when I vividly remember you telling us that this Indiana team was not nearly as talented, and Haliburton was the guy who was throwing this unit on their back. You are a Haliburton guy. You are not
Chill.
an Indiana
On
guy, Ron.
Playback last night,
100%.
the starting lineup came up. You remember this? The starting lineup came on the screen, and you said, man, on paper, that's a whack-ass starting lineup. That's a whack-ass. Okay, so I'm thinking what we all know. When you look at the Pacers lineup, you're like, it's no way they should be that good.
Who's all? Who is that?
I'm not a resident Pacer guy. You are though, Ron. I'm not a resident Pacer guy.
And I picked them last year in every series, and I picked them this year in 3 out of the 4 series. Ooh,
You picked them to lose to the Bucks because of fandom,
round
though.
one.
and you
Because
picked
of
the
fandom.
Nuggets.
I
to
agree.
lose
I
2
agree.
to 3 series.
And I agree. And
What
they
are
went,
you
and it went
talking
7
about?
games.
You did the same thing.
Your favorite got snuck in 5 games.
Your favorite.
5. They
Your
got
favorite.
snuck.
You picked your favorite to lose 2 out of the 3 series this year.
Who's 2 of the 3? What 2 of the 3? What 2
You
of the 3?
picked
What
them to
2 of the
lose to
3?
the Clippers.
What 2 of the 3? What 2 of the 3?
Picked them to lose to
They
the
played in 2
Clippers,
series.
and you
They
picked
played
them
in
to
2
lose.
series. But guess what? They played 2 Game 7 series. Your favorite to come out of the East got won 1 game in the playoffs. They won 1 game in the playoffs,
For sure.
Ron.
You got it. You got it.
One
We up
game?
2-1. You got it. We up 2-1.
Game?
You
on.
got it.
Go ahead, Penn.
First of all, I think the only person who really, really should be able to talk shit up here about the Pacers is Swiper. And Ron, if you really wanted to be early on the Pacers, maybe you should have smelled some smelling salts. Might have cleared up your brain a little bit. Number 2, I don't know why either one of you are talking shit, because you were both wrong in the first round. Swiper, you were wrong both times on your Denver predictions, and Ron, about your team,
I know
were
Pedro
wrong
better
too.
know Denver.
And by the way, the round that you got wrong, that was the most important round, because all the other rounds don't matter if you get bounced in the first round. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Hey, we here right now. We up 2-1.
What does the next super chat say?
Hey, Penn, you wrong this round.
Yeah.
What does the next super chat say?
I'm not
You
going to be
wrong
wrong
this
this round. I'm not going to be wrong this round. But you know what? If I am wrong, unlike you, I will actually admit it.
Arch sent through another $100 super chat and said, "Common dub from Swiper and Mars and Mr. Delroy James. LOG, L Ron, L blue shirt."
Facts.
Oh, Kyrie disrespectful.
Yeah.
That was the Kyrie Fox conversation.
All right, what was the question I asked Chill?
Hold on. Wait, Swiper, hold up. Got one more. Arch sent through yet another super chat and said, "Kawhi's peak is top 10 peaks of all time. Injuries robbed us of a legend."
Oh my God.
What is Kyrie?
A bum knee away from a goat.
In your estimation, what is peak Kyrie or peak Kawhi?
Kawhi.
What is peak?
Honestly, I'm gonna say this, and I'm the person that said the best version of Kawhi to me is like better than the best version of Shaq in the 2000s. And I know that sounds crazy, and I acknowledge that.
Some of the most
What I saw this
that?
dude do in the playoffs.
What year?
Huh?
2015, 16, 19, 20, whatever.
17.
That was all. 17, yeah, he got hurt by Zaza. 16, they were what, the second seed in the West?
Sorry, 16, 17, 18.
Okay.
Sorry. So 2016, 2017, 2019. Those 3 playoff runs to me is like There's one.
Not better than
There's
Shaq.
one.
Playoff runs?
No.
So your
There's
peak
one.
is your playoff runs?
Look,
Well,
I've
it's
always
part of it.
It's part of
Most-
it.
The regular season, he was
most players
pretty
regress in the playoffs. Most players regress a little bit in the playoffs. Okay, most players that you can go through NBA history, there's a slight decline. If you want an example of a slight decline, J-Dub. It's a slight decline in the playoffs every single year. Chet Holmgren last year, Chet Holmgren this year. Those percentages go down. Why do they go down? I'll tell you why they go down. Because you're not playing bad teams anymore.
Yeah, better defenses, better players.
You're playing, by definition of the playoffs, you're no longer playing the bottom 14 teams in the league. So naturally, and then once you get deeper and deeper into the playoffs, like when you get into game 6, game 5, game 7, you're playing the same guys over and over again.
Sure.
So they get used to your rhythm. They get used to you get schemed a lot more. So to me, playoffs, like the reason it's so interesting is because it exposes the frauds. And in those moments, I feel Kawhi has shown up bigger than anyone in NBA history except for maybe Michael Jordan.
Wait.
And let me ask you something.
Wait. What about this year? What about this year?
Playoffs.
What about this year? What about 2020? What about 2020 when he was considered a top 3 player in the sport? What happened in 2020?
Was that his peak? Was that peak Kawhi Leonard?
He was still.
I want to say that was beautiful, Pin.
He blew
Okay, hold on. Okay, I got to cut it.
There wasn't nothing beautiful about
No. Chill. The 2019, he wins the ring. The very next season, he's still in his prime, healthy, with the best team, the team favored to come out of the West. What happened in that series, Pin? In game 5, 6, and 7 with Kawhi.
Didn't he have
what
11
happened in that
game
series?
That's not his peak. That's not his peak, though. They don't.
No, it has to be. It was a year after the Toronto series.
Yeah, it's his peak.
It was a year after.
He
was
They
healthy.
didn't count that. I mean, what your peak is 7 years? We're gonna go what 2015 to 2020.
7 years.
They
I'm
started
not counting 2015 for Kawhi because
He started in
Kawhi is
2015.
better than 2015.
They lost to Denver
he
in
started
7
at-
games.
What did Kawhi do?
That.
What did
I didn't
Kawhi do?
7, 8 years.
He was horrible down the stretch of that series, including in the fourth quarter. No. He scored 4 points. 4 in the last 2 combined fourth quarters and 0 in the game 7. 0.
So I'm not going to judge Kawhi Leonard's 5-year stretch by 2 games. I'm not going to do that.
He was up 21 and he choked and got outplayed by 2 players down the stretch of the series.
Sit down.
What I'm saying. What I'm saying. This is what I'm
That's
saying.
the Jeffrey logic when I hear it. It was just ringing in my ears.
As good as Kawhi Leonard was, let's just say peak
Wow.
Kawhi Leonard 19, right? Peak Kawhi Leonard in 19.
Mhm.
That wasn't better than Shaq in 2000. That wasn't better than Shaq in 2001. Not just and I'm talking about from the beginning of the season to
close.
the end of the season. I'm not just
I
talking
think
about
it's really close.
Kawhi lives in fantasy land, bro.
I'm not talking about from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. I'm not just talking about the playoffs because when I watch Shaq, of all the playoff series that Kawhi Leonard has played, can you give me a playoff series that he played that was better than what Shaq did to the Sacramento Kings in 2001 when he completely destroyed them and they swept them out of the playoffs?
He's going to say 2020. He's going to say 2021 Dallas Mavericks.
No way. When Shaq
Dallas Mavericks
eliminated that series, to be fair.
It went 7. It went 7, mind you. It went 7. That series went 7, mind you.
It did go 7. Shaquille O'Neal in 2001 against the Sacramento Kings when he had not one, he had 2 40-20 games in that series. 2 of them.
Yeah.
40-20? 40-20
games.
I know a guy. Never mind. See, Mars.
I'll give you an answer to that, Chill. I'll give you an answer to that.
It's no answer to that.
Yeah,
like,
there is.
21. You're gonna say 21 Clippers.
Kawhi Leonard,
this is the
2019
worst field that
Philadelphia
you
76ers.
ever died on. Shaq
The
in back-to-back
76ers
seasons in the
series.
playoffs, Shaq averaged 30 and 15. What are we doing?
Yeah, what Shaq was doing to
2000 and 2001.
What Shaquille O'Neal.
You just mentioned pace and era. He did that in 2000 and 2001 with one of the slowest paces we've ever seen. What
Shaq was doing to front courts in the NBA Finals at that time, it should be fucking legal.
Kawhi Leonard wasn't as durable.
You said what you say, Mars?
No, because look,
Kawhi's averaged 30 in the playoffs before. He's averaged.
Because if you look at y'all talking about playoffs.
Damn near 40.
If y'all look at the 19 run, you look at what he did in 19. We don't got to run it down game by game. Y'all all seen it. We all know what happened.
Shaq was still bad, but yeah, we seen it.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not even
Mars,
talking
who was a
about
better
Shaquille
defender?
Hold on, damn that.
Damn
If you look
Kawhi,
if you look at that
Wait.
19 run, if you look at that 19 run, there is no way Kawhi obviously.
No,
It
not obviously.
depends on the
Shaq
year,
was dominant on defense in 2000. This is
depends
on the year.
How many people would challenge
What are y'all
Shaq in the
talking
paint
about?
at that
It
time?
depends
I
on
mean,
the
who's he playing against? Who's he playing against to do it?
Yeah, it depends which years of both players you're talking about. Like that's what it depends.
2000 Shaq. There's no question. It's
Rick
2000
Smith
Shaq.
and Mutombo and Tyrone Hill were not challenging Shaq. I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree. We agree.
Now we don't understand what.
But if you look,
Nah, hush,
if
hush,
you
hush,
look,
hush,
if you
hush.
look, if you look at the
Allen Iverson, though, Allen Iverson,
already though, swiping from the 19 playoff run, and then you tried to downplay 2020 like he played bad in the playoffs. You tried to downplay that.
He played bad down the stretch of the series.
Like he didn't go and absolutely kill
Pull the series
Dallas.
up again.
And then y'all won.
Yeah, bring up the Nugget series now. Now bring up the Nugget series.
He played. If you
When he's
just wanna
not
yell out- if you
conveniently
just wanna
playing versus
yell
the
out-
Mavericks,
if you
what
just wanna
happened?
Yell out. What do you mean conveniently playing against?
Yeah, I'm
the
saying
Mavericks? There's
I'm
no
outside of that
convenience
Mavericks
there.
series versus that
always try to throw
Fugazi
little words in there to
defense.
make it seem like he
No,
he
bring up the
him.
Nugget
He
series.
cooked him. I'm trying
What
to
happened in the
part of
Nugget
Dallas.
series?
He averaged
he was
24,
killing y'all.
9,
Like
and
he was
6.
killing y'all. It's not like he played
And then what he do? And then what he do down the stretch of the series?
He wasn't great down the stretch.
That's almost a triple double, Mars. That's almost a triple double.
Y'all won in 7. It's not like
Bro, he had 14, 6 and 6, 25, 0 in the fourth.
in
Come
one
on,
game.
bro. Come on, bro.
And that, okay, so you,
No, as Penn broke it down, when it came down to the crux of the crux
game.
versus better teams, better strategies, he floundered. That's what he did.
That's
Just
what
like
happened. It's
Penn
okay.
said.
LeBron did it. Steph did it. Kobe did
He
it.
wasn't hurt. And he wasn't hurt,
Swiper,
Mike.
do it. Swiper. In all the playoff series
That's 2000.
Kawhi has ever played in his life.
He's
which
only been
is a
outplayed
lot.
by how many people?
Hang on, which is a lot of series. Okay,
Yep.
I think he's played like 25 series, 20, something like that. Okay, the Denver series is the 4th worst field
Which
goal
one?
percentage. 2020.
What about this last one? You just bring in a prime. Just in his prime. Just say in his prime. Just in his prime. Okay.
You talking the last one, like the one that just happened?
Yes. So you're saying just in his prime, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
talking about 2024, 2025 Kawhi. That defensive impact has gone off a cliff. I'm saying from 2015, 2016, that year till 2020, I cannot count 8 better players in my life that I've seen. The only reason that he's not in my top 20 is because he did not have the longevity. He did not play the games. Like, you'd be shocked to see how many Tobias Harris has scored more career points than Kawhi Leonard.
I'm not shocked by that.
I'm quite shocked by that, but I mean, it's just 2 times Finals MVP. The record speaks for itself. I'm just saying, in his peak,
Was he better than LeBron in 14 in the finals?
I don't know. I have to think about that.
No, he wasn't.
No.
Penn?
No.
In
No, he
2014, no.
that.
Sorry, no, I don't have to think about that. I don't know why the hell I was thinking like 2016, 2017. No. No, in 2014, he was not better than LeBron. LeBron, and I actually think, that whole like Finals MVP was more like a Finals MVP by default. I think you could have gone a couple different ways for that Finals MVP. No disrespect.
You can't talk about Kawhi Leonard with a guy like Swiper. Swiper's just gonna throw numbers at you and
No,
I don't think he's better than
if you
Shaq.
talk,
That's
if you,
what the
if
pushback
you
is.
talk, and that's fine. I don't think he's better than
Kawhi
Shaq either. I don't think he's better
Well, that's
than Shaq
it. That's
either.
the conversation.
Okay, yeah, but still, that wasn't even. I wasn't doing that.
He brought it up.
Yes, I know. That's you do that. You can do that with Penn. I'm talking about when I'm talking to you about it. I was just talking about.
I got you.
A couple of those playoff runs. That's
Sure.
it. I'm saying, but Kawhi Leonard is not a dude. You can't argue with a guy like Swiper about Kawhi Leonard. You got to talk ball about Kawhi Leonard.
That doesn't make any sense.
You can't. Yeah, it makes complete
You're
sense.
comparing him to Shaq. I'm going to compare the series.
Once again, Swiper, I'm not when I'm talking to you about these playoffs. I'm not talking about Shaquille O'Neal. I'm just talking about.
Well, who are we comparing him to? He's a great playoff performer.
I'm not comparing him to anything. Swiper,
He's a great playoff performer. I agree with you. I'm on your side.
I think you need to. I don't know if you properly rate how good that Philly team was.
What team? 19?
Yeah, 2019 Philly.
One where Embiid.
I mean, they was
they win the series if Embiid is better.
To anybody out there who forgets that team for whatever reason, Embiid, Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Names.
Yes.
Embiid averaged 17 points a game on 39% from the field in that series.
And he was awful
because
in
of Marc Gasol. Yeah, because of Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol put him in a straitjacket. But
I think that team, the Raptor team was stacked.
The idea here is that they were such a Joel Embiid, when healthy, is one of the 10 best defenders in the NBA. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
When healthy,
Easily.
yeah.
Ben Simmons at that point, who guarded Kawhi a lot in that series.
He was an all-league defender that year.
All-league defender and could have been up there for top 5 defender in the league. To do that against that type of personnel in a half-court setting, to hit that final shot, by the way, that won in the series, sure. To hit that final shot over the outstretched arms of Embiid and Ben Simmons,
Right.
in a game in which the rest of your team did not even show up. I'm sorry. That to me is like all-time high. You can Zesty Jeffrey yourself.
That's the Zesty Jeffrey logic, man. Stop coming with your memorabilia and all that. Nobody care about that, man. That's really just nonsense. It's not better than Shaq. It's not all nonsense. It's all nonsense. I agree. Nobody said like I don't know why we entertaining Penn all the time. I mean, I've been having fun with this man, but this is the why GOAT James Kingdom exists, because of nostalgia talk like this or this idiot talk about this reminiscing 5 games. Had the nerve to say, "Oh, I can't disappear 5 seasons for 5 games," but he wants us to talk about the Philadelphia series. Why Kawhi Leonard had a higher peak than 2000 Shaq? Come on, man. Can we talk basketball, Ron? Please.
I do agree. I don't know why we're spending time on a Kawhi versus Shaq conversation. I'm gonna be honest. I think
For clips,
ain't no beef. It's all exposure.
I don't believe that someone can think Kawhi's better than Shaq. I'm sorry. I don't
Any peak of Kawhi. Any
Uncle
peak.
Dennis.
I want to be clear that I was
Even
not
you know.
arguing that. Okay, I want to be clear. I was just talking about Kawhi Leonard. No comparison to Shaquille O'Neal, especially not peak Shaq. That was not my argument. Okay,
Yeah, you
Okay,
sound like you got some
y'all
zesty
understand?
Jeffrey logic too.
I might, but not for this.
All right, well,
You didn't
ZZ.
finish your list, mind you, and then Chill also didn't answer the question yet.
Well, hold up, my man ZZ up here. We gotta see.
I
why
really,
ZZ
yeah.
ZZ
bro.
hit me on the side and said, "Ron, I got something that I need to."
Go ahead.
I
Zizi.
did not say that, Ron. I said, "Hey, nigga, drop the link. I got something I gotta say." And
Okay.
you did.
You got something you
thank
gotta do.
You dropped the link.
Something I gotta say. I came
no,
up here
like-
and
That's how you let niggas talk to you.
whole time I came up here because I needed to give an apology. All right. And in that time, we done ran through peak Shaq versus peak Kawhi, Dells, Tyrants, and everything. So I had fun. But right now, I came up here to give an apology to the Indiana Pacers. All right. Because me, just like Mars, I think Swipe as well. I don't want to speak for you, but I think y'all had shut up, Ron. Turn his camera off. I had OKC in 5. And like Mars said earlier, the reason I had OKC in 5 had nothing to do with me trying to act as if the Pacers just were ass or anything. It was everything to do with how great Oklahoma City has been for like 85% of the season. Now they're down 2-1. Haliburton finally had a game. He had 22, 9, and 11. But I mean, in terms of shooting, I was like, this is exactly like what Haliburton needed to do for them to be able to have a realistic chance in this series. Mind you, OKC's top 3 players all had over 20 last night. And Jalen Williams, for some reason, couldn't hit late game free throws. Whatever. Also, I think Cason Wallace missed a late game free throw as well. So I say this to say, I apologize to Indiana. I was not familiar with y'all's game. Matter of fact, Benedict Mathurin, shout out to you, my boy, because Benedict Mathurin is coming into the series and just
Penn, you hear that?
X factor. All right. So shout out
Hey,
Benedict.
that?
Mathurin.
Better
Matter
than
of fact,
Kaminga.
Benedict
Better than
Mathurin?
Kaminga.
Hold on.
I
I
don't think so.
ain't say that. I didn't say that. But shout out Benedict Mathurin. We saw him in Indiana when we did the PC trip, when we did PC weekend. We saw him outside
We
of the
seen
bar.
him. We seen him.
We seen him outside of a bar. I don't think he was old enough, but that ain't my business. Shout out Benedict Mathurin. Shout out TJ McConnell as well. Shout out TJ McConnell. Because look, I told y'all the last time I was up here. Y'all remember? I said OKC got Alex Caruso. They just gonna be like, go get him. Well, now Indiana got TJ McConnell, and they just go get them. Go ahead, get you 5 steals. Go get you 5 assists, 10 points. TJ McConnell, bro, was the biggest
Caruso's never done that.
factor in that game. So shout out Indiana. I apologize for disrespecting you. I hope this shit goes 7. If not, I hope. Now look. Now let me say this, Ron. I know you on your high horse. I know, and warranted. Everything's justified. I get it. Let these niggas go 3-1 and blow this, Ron, and your whole summer finna be ruined. Let that happen. Let that happen. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't want to
Okay,
see
take care of business in game 4. OKC needs to go ahead and take care of business, right? Go ahead and tie the series up.
We need a
but let
prediction.
them go up 3-1 and blow
We got
this.
your apology. We need a prediction. Where's the
Predict the
series?
series now, ZG.
I still got Oklahoma City winning it. And honestly, I'm
In?
stand
How
on
many
it.
games?
They didn't.
In?
I got it in 6. OKC in 6. I'm standing on it. Damn it. All right. And if I
So 3
lose,
straight
I'm gonna
games.
come here and
3 straight
apologize.
games. 3
I'm
straight
gonna
games.
apologize. I'm gonna apologize if I lose. But I got OKC in 6. I got to stand on that. I got
So you're gonna apologize twice.
Look, if
Easy,
I got
you
you,
know
on
it's
the-
Well,
new
it sounds
information,
like every
right?
game they lose.
You know,
okay,
when
if they
you
lose,
get new
if they lose
information,
3,
you
are you
can
gonna go for
reconstruct
game
the logic.
7? If they lose game 4, are you gonna go? If they go down 3-1, are you gonna say it's 7?
Let me just let's just clear up confusion. I have Oklahoma City winning this series. If it goes 6 or 7, how about that?
Okay. I'm just asking.
Zizzy, don't come back up here apologizing.
That'll be 3 apologies then. That'll be 3 apologies.
If they lose, just stand.
What happens if it goes 5?
Don't come up here apologizing.
Ooh, that's a good question, Ron.
Yeah, what happens if it goes 5? Like I
You won't see me for a while. I'll just disappear into the
Indiana
dark.
winning 5. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Indiana winning 5. We just gonna have to start having some uncomfortable
I told you no team was gonna win in 5. Chill was running around here talking about OKC in 5. I told him nobody was gonna win in 5. I told him that he didn't believe.
Talk to him. Talk to him.
Okay, somebody gonna win in 5.
Okay, my name is Johnny. Goat James Kingdom is my channel.
Okay. Word. For
sure.
sure.
For the record,
Damn,
We can still call you Go Johnny.
I thought your name was Blue Shirt. My bad.
Go for the record, Alex Caruso
Call me a
was a
Zesty
bucket.
Jeffrey. That's all I don't want to be called. That's all.
He was a bucket.
Wait, where
You want to call
Jesse
everyone a
thing start
Zesty
again?
Jeffrey, but you don't want to be called a Zesty Jeffrey.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Zesty Jeffries in this community, and that's what my job is to do: is to point them out, identify them, bury them. Right? And
wouldn't it take one? It wouldn't take one to know one though.
Oh,
have you heard of projection?
No, I've never heard.
I don't think it takes.
Yeah, exactly. It does.
Oh, that's interesting, Mars.
That's fine.
Take the casual point out of casual. But wait, what was the question? Can you ask Joe the question, Mars, please?
I already know what the question that he asked me because he's talking about accolades and the fact that
I asked you a question. I just don't remember what I said.
The fact that Sabonis finished. It wasn't a question. He told me to explain how De'Aaron Fox is ahead of Sabonis, even though Sabonis finished higher in league MVP votes.
All NBA votes.
Yeah, he was on the 3rd team All NBA, just like De'Aaron Fox.
With more votes, yeah.
With more votes, which I think is interesting. With that being said, the reason why I can answer that simply, I can answer that very simply. Sabonis said we need a point guard. We had a point guard, and we needed one.
What?
We already had a point guard. That's why.
How's that the answer?
Because we had a point guard, and we needed a point guard. Guess what? We had one.
And if Sabonis got traded, De'Aaron would say we need a big. Does that mean?
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that, but we do know that Sabonis said we need a point guard.
Yeah, the King.
Wait, what does this got to do with who's
we need
better?
A point guard. There you go. And
we had 45 minutes to come up with an answer, and that's what I got.
I don't have to come up with 45.
Wait, is Sabonis the best player on that team or no, Chill?
I'm telling you, we had a guy that season in De'Aaron Fox. Who I think he was 25 and 6.
And Sabonis was 18, 12, and 7.
Okay, De'Aaron Fox averaged 25 points.
That's almost a triple-double, right? That's almost a triple-double, right?
That's almost this shit takes years off my life when I deal with
But no, hold on, Chill. Wait, Mars, is it 18, 12, and 7?
19, 12, and 7 is factually closer to a triple-double than 21, 9, and 8.
I'm just messing with you, Chill. You know, I'm just
wait, so Chill
is actually close to a triple.
It is because at least I've hit 2 of the categories. I'm factually
Wait, Chill, hold on. So Sabonis was not the best player in that team that year?
I thought it was Fox.
What year is that?
Oh, wait.
23.
Wait a minute.
Sabonis has never been
Ron, I'm fine with you thinking De'Aaron was better. I also want to make it clear. I think De'Aaron was better.
Mars's logic is attacking how I feel about accolades. That's Mars's logic.
They were better with Sabonis on the court that year. Sabonis finished higher in MVP voting.
If Sabonis was higher in league MVP votes, if he was higher in all pros, why is I care about
the league in the statistical category.
And led the league in the statistical category. Why is he not better? Well, Mars, again, because even though I do care about production, I do care about you as a player as well. And I think about how good Fox was in the clutch. I think about how good Fox was as an overall basketball player. I think about how good Fox was on defense. Sabonis had a difficult time. Sabonis has had a difficult time on defense. Fox has been better.
They were the 26th ranked defense that year with Fox and Sabonis, and they were better with Sabonis on the court than they were with Fox.
Are you sure about that, or are you just running your mouth?
No, I know.
Done that before. Are you sure about that?
Yeah, Joe, just like you did, just like you do all the time about your favorites.
You do that shit all
I know.
Even though their lead guard that year got all league defensive.
Look, Chill. I'm looking at this stuff right now.
He got all defensive votes the next year.
But wait a minute. We can't talk about almost triple doubles. We could talk about almost being MVP. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, he was closer to being MVP than De'Aaron Fox was.
That's what we're doing. So he was almost.
Almost MVP. Yeah, almost MVP.
He was almost MVP.
He finished top 10. He finished top 10. De'Aaron Fox finished outside the top 10, but
he finished 11. No, he finished 7, and then he finished 11.
So the bonus was
7 and 8, not
MVP.
just 7 and 8. He finished in the top 10 twice. Now, we've also had guys who aren't better players, but finished. We've also had guys finish high in league MVP votes, but they aren't better players than other guys. I'm not going to.
When they're on the same team?
Not on the same team.
Okay, then how does that fit?
Because we've seen other players who aren't better players on other teams finish higher in league MVP.
No, I said on the same team.
Yeah, but if they're on the same team, how does the best player on the team not get more MVP votes on the same team as the other guy?
Because I think that they're looking at it from the aspect of how valuable you are as opposed to you being the better player.
So wouldn't that make you a better player?
No, that doesn't necessarily.
So Sabonis is more valuable than
and what's
right?
better is
Because
so how is he not better?
Because the reason why is because we've seen MVPs not be the best player. That's why.
That's the chill.
No. How are you on the same team and I'm more
Once
valuable
again,
than you?
Swiper,
Not a
you're
better
not
player.
this dense. Stop it, Swiper.
I'm not being dense. We play on the same team.
Okay, we've seen the best player.
If we're both on a show and one of us wins an Emmy and the other one doesn't win an Emmy, then I perform better on the show than the other person that didn't win the Emmy.
Here's the difference.
Neither of them won an Emmy.
That's the point, right? So that's a bad
You
example.
clearly don't know how Emmys are.
Why? I think that's clearly like I'm better.
I understand MVP
the most important player, the most important person on the panel inside the NBA.
MVP
He has the most
doesn't go to the
Emmys
best
too.
player. I agree with that.
Were they both
Interesting that
nominated?
I'm hearing you say it now, considering you value the MVP award.
They all
I
get
do
nominated.
value the MVP award.
The All NBA team. The
Yes,
All
sir.
NBA team. Sabonis got more votes for that too.
I think that was interesting.
He got more votes the next year too.
And I think,
But that's different positions, though, right? It wasn't positions. Then those top positions.
23 it wasn't.
So I have the numbers here, Mars. I have the numbers here,
Next year,
Mars.
Sabonis made All NBA again. And
Mars, I have the numbers
and
here
it
for
wasn't-
Chill because he asked in 2022-23, the for both on the court in 2022-23 in the regular season, the year that Sabonis finished 7th in MVP voting. Together on the court, they were plus 2.5. With Sabonis and no Fox, they were plus 4.43. And with Fox with no Sabonis, they were a minus 0.18. So they were better without Fox on the floor and just Sabonis and a cast of role players.
What do you think the separator is there?
What do I think? It's just that has to do with like lineup. Sabonis is the hub. He's the hub for that team. So he generates the playmaking, he generates the scoring, the defense. He's also the anchor of the defense. Bad defense, mind you. And De'Aaron Fox is not the hub around what Sacramento was doing. So like he does everything for them, which is why I think he was better and more valuable in the regular season setting. Now, Chill, if you argued in the playoffs, I think De'Aaron Fox is better than Sabonis in the playoffs because Sabonis couldn't score versus Draymond and Looney.
In 2004, hold on. In Swiper, in 2004, Jermaine O'Neal and Peja Stojakovic finished over Shaq and Kobe in MVP votes.
What's that? They're not in the same.
Which player finished higher between Shaq and Kobe?
Kobe.
Which player was better in the 04 season, Shaq or Kobe?
Moss thinks it was Bryant.
No, but let me ask you this though. You said that more valuable, right?
Yeah,
this guy won clutch. This guy won clutch player of the year in 2023. Fox won clutch player of the year. So would that help his value?
My point is, at no point in human history has Jermaine O'Neal been better than Shaquille O'Neal.
That's why I used the point of they were on the same team. That's why we use that point.
Yeah, they were saying about the same team. Yeah.
I think media.
But to Chill's point, Chill doesn't. What's considered valuable and what's considered better or best is two different things for Chill.
Which is why I asked about the All NBA teams.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. A lot of these media guys, they don't watch all these teams play.
100%
facts.
But Sabonis was better than Fox that year, though, in the regular season, though.
The reason why
why do we do this with players? I mean, Mark.
Can Chill answer the question?
Well, because
you've been trying to answer for 4 minutes. I'm just like, I feel bad for Chill.
Go ahead.
Mark, so as you were saying, so at that time, and we do live in a different era when we're talking about bigs. And that's where we were with Sabonis in terms of the big guy. He's going up against like Bam and Rudy Gobert for being an All-Pro, guys like that. Meanwhile, Fox is I think the line when you're talking about being an All-Pro, the guard line is way different. He's got to perform a lot different than Sabonis. I think that it was a lot thinner at the big spot for Sabonis. That doesn't diminish Sabonis as a player. I just think that in terms of being an All-Pro, I think it was diminished, and I think it was thin at that position, so it was a lot less difficult for him to make it. A prime example I'll give you those years that Rudy Gobert was making All-Pro. That's Cat's spot. But because of the defense, Rudy Gobert was making the All-Pro team. Cat should have been an All-Pro, but it still was a thin 5 spot in terms of being an All-NBA performer. As opposed to De'Aaron Fox, who I'm going up against Damian Lillard, and I'm going up against Jamal Murray, and I'm going up against Kyrie Irving, I'm going up against, not Russell Westbrook at that point. Russell Westbrook was already over. But the guard list was a lot less.
There's only 3 All-NBA center spots.
It was a lot thicker.
There's only 3 All-NBA center spots.
In 23, I think there's validity to that statement. My pushback would be to Swiper's point. There's only 3 spots for Sabonis. There's 6 for De'Aaron. So although the guard spot is more competition, De'Aaron has twice as many opportunities.
And he made 13 all NBA that year, didn't he?
So he was fifth or sixth out of the guards. Sabonis was third out of the centers. That would be my pushback to that. And then my other pushback would be the next year it wasn't positional, and Sabonis made it anyway, and De'Aaron didn't. What's the explanation for that?
Well, De'Aaron did get hurt throughout the course of that season, and he didn't play as much. He ended up rolling his ankle.
He played 74 games that year,
but he did, and it was early in the season. He
technically more games than he played in 23.
Yeah, he did suffer, and in the process, and they did suffer. And let me rephrase that: they did suffer in the process of that. But him being the point of attack defender that he is, and you know how I feel about De'Aaron Fox as a defender. No, he ain't Drew Holiday. No, he's not Avery Bradley or anything like that. But he's a lot better defender than a lot of you guys give him credit for. That is a problem for Sacramento's defense when he's not on the floor. On top of that, him being the distributor that he is, I mean, 6, 7 assists. I think I want to say 20. The season that you're talking about, Moss, or it's either that season or it's 23. He had almost 30 games where he had 8 or more assists. So he was definitely getting off the ball. In addition to him being a bucket getter. Yes, I'm talking about De'Aaron. In addition to him being a bucket getter. So in addition to him being a bucket getter, in addition to him being one of the best transition guards in the game, ridiculously athletic, can defend. I think that his ability, him being on that Sacramento team, I think he was better.
But hold on, but
we do got it in 2023. In
me.
2023, it was 13 games. In 2024, it was 13 games. In 2023, it was 24 games of 8 or more assists. So,
all right, fellas, we gotta move on. This is like the third iteration of the De'Aaron Fox debate. But shout out to De'Aaron Fox, shout out to Kyrie, shout out to Scottie Pippen, shout out to damn near triple doubles, shout out to all the Zesty Jeffries out there. Yep. Shout out to everybody that liked the video and turned on their notification bells. Also, I want to give a shout out to definitely our Hall of Famers because, well, you guys are just in the Players' Choice Hall of Fame. These guys go by the name of Multi-Kenny, Worldwide Mace Television, Jason Grillionaire, Eddie Hart, Rob Deere, Minor, Joe Breezy. Y'all already know Arch, the GOAT Super Chatter, Braden, Cheese, who is the GOAT gifter of Players' Choice memberships. And then, last but certainly not least, we got a new member today, fellas. He goes by the name of Kingster. Shout out to Kingster. He is a new Hall of Famer. And shout out to everybody else that is members. And shout out to everybody that sent through super chats. Let's go ahead and get into them. It's Hack Ira sent through a super chat and said, Fox, Dame, Ja, Trey, Kyrie, etc. are not first options on championship teams, so that discussion is irrelevant. Kyrie has at least proven he is a championship level second option throughout his career. Fox next to Luka doesn't get to the finals.
I don't think most people thought Tyrese Haliburton was a championship #1, and apparently he's 2 games away from doing that. So I think if the Pacers win, it's really gonna poke some holes in ring culture.
Well, I don't think
it's just gonna push Tyrese Haliburton into top 10 conversation.
Yeah, and I also don't think he's a traditional #1 either.
I don't think it will.
I mean, I'm already seeing lists with Tyrese Haliburton at 7. So I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm already knowing Ron is good. If these dudes beat Oklahoma City and win the NBA championship, Ron is going to be in.
Ron, make sure you invite me, Ron. We'll be there together. Ron.
I just think a surprising number of people can be the best player in a championship team if the team is built right. I just think
I can't wait.
It's harder for some people.
Ron is going to be very difficult to do.
There's going to be a lot of Zesty Jeffries buried if Haliburton becomes the NBA champion. There's going to be so much. Oh,
good night,
Pascal Siakam's going to get Finals MVP though.
That's all good.
Possibly,
that's cool.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, I don't know who would win at this point if the Pacers win. Like based on what
Haliburton hit the game winner.
Last year. I don't know what's going on.
But Ron, I could get with you though, Ron, because I can tell you right now, if the Celtics would have won the NBA championship, you know, had to kick me off the show.
Yeah, he said he can be best in the world talks.
Even if Jaylen Brown won the Finals MVP,
yeah,
even if that was
all of a sudden Finals MVP would
won it again. Yes, Smalls. I would have been impossible to deal with, just like you are. Just like you are going to be, Ron, if the Pacers win the NBA championship. So
win. They win it.
All right.
Simon718 said, y'all gonna talk about how the Pacers are just simply the better team, or are we going to continue making excuses for the untouchable dream team y'all think OKC is? What the F we doing talking about hotel fire alarms?
Hotel fire alarms matter.
That was interesting.
By the way, I heard back. I heard there was no confirmation to that whatsoever. But not to say Penn.
I didn't say.
I know you didn't.
He didn't say he heard that.
No, I know. I'm asking. I asked specifically, was there any interruption?
What are y'all talking about? I was told no. Fire alarm.
Okay.
Penn said that OKC looked tired in Game 3. And then
I said they looked tired before the game.
Before the game. So his theory was potentially that their sleep was disrupted the night before.
He had an insider. It wasn't Swipe.
Then I went and asked somebody about it. They said there was nothing that they know about that happened. But I will say that
something like that happened in the last round, didn't it? Wasn't there a story about the Knicks and then someone ran a fire alarm like 3 a.m.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
That was also in Indiana, by the way.
I mean,
they
Michael
kind of
Jordan ordered the pizza and then they poisoned him. Yeah, I mean,
I'm saying though, look, if we're a team, and we got a game tomorrow, and at 2 a.m. the fire alarm goes off. We're gonna get up, we're gonna go back to sleep, and then we're gonna go play basketball.
Exactly. These dudes be up at 2 o'clock in the morning all the time.
Where do you think this came from? Where you think this whole thing came from?
Penn?
It probably happened. Who knows? I don't
know.
No,
but what I'm saying, where do you think this thing started with?
What started?
I don't know. The whole pulling the fire alarm and we got to come out of the hotel.
Well, it started with me saying that 5 hours before the game they looked tired.
Oh yeah. Well, he was just making excuses for why they lost.
24 hours in a day. A fire drill takes 10 minutes.
Well, not every day, actually, Mars. Not every day is 24 hours.
No
days is exactly 24 hours.
I'm on Oxford page. These dudes ain't getting off their feet. These are young dudes. They've been in Oklahoma City. I mean, they've been in Indiana for a couple of days. I don't think these dudes are getting off their feet.
I thought all NBA players take naps before a game. No, am I wrong?
No.
Like, not everyone.
The OKC Thunder are made up with like a lot of players, at least the ones that I know of, like through their trainers, through people around them. They're very consistent. They're not the type of players that would be partying out the night before. So to me, well, I know at least about 3 of the players on the team for sure. And they're the young guys.
I told you, man. Can you give us some locker room insider information?
What are you saying? What are you saying, Swipe?
I don't think we know any of them are doing. I think we can presume, obviously, SGA is at home because he's, seems.
Why would he be at home in Indiana?
Well, I'm saying at home hotel, like, you know what I mean? Like he's in his room, for sure. But we don't actually know what anyone's doing,
Man, that dude is dialed in.
Unless they're lying to their trainers and their family members. No, I think we know.
We don't know that. No, I'm saying, Penn, we actually don't know that.
I can personally guarantee you that Casey Wallace was not partying the night before. Can I tell you that?
But I would say that there was no fire alarm last night. They might have just been up. And they should have been asleep. That's why they're sleepy 5 hours.
They might just be tired.
Okay,
it's the finals, y'all. Like you're supposed to be a little tired. You're supposed to be a little banged up.
Indiana has some spots. Got some night out spots.
There were 2 games off. There were 2 days off between these games. I have not seen this team necessarily come out with this type of effort too many times throughout the season, but there have been a couple times.
Super chats, Ron. What we got?
Hey, somebody said there's no spots to go to in Indy.
It's the last day of school today.
That's not true.
Half day, so I gotta go exactly.
Indy was fun.
Your Highness Charles said Tyrese Haliburton is a top 10 player in this league. I don't care if you don't like how goofy he looks, but the numbers bear that out. And his defense has taken a big leap since last season, especially.
Joe, do you think Hallie's better than Anthony Davis?
No.
I think that's about where the line's going to be, like for 10. Anthony Edwards, Anthony Davis, Donovan Mitchell.
No, it won't be. I think we can comfortably have a conversation about him top 15, but top 10, no, I'm not doing that.
In the back, do you think better than
top 15 is top 10, y'all. It's the NBA. It's gonna move.
Joe, could you have had a conversation about Chauncey Billups as a top 10 player in 2004?
No, we never had a conversation about Chauncey Billups top 10 in 2004. That was not a thought. No, sorry.
Finished 5th in MVP voting though.
Almost MVP.
Tay Luke 777 sent through a super chat and it didn't say nothing, but either way it goes, shout out to Otis. DeSarmo said 2-way 3rd best shooting guard ever. SGA has a higher blow by percentage in the finals than Luka in 24. When will ESPN, Nerd Sesh, etc. finally speak on how overrated their man crush is as a defender? He's horrible on ball.
He got destroyed yesterday.
I'm not as high on SGA's defense as a lot of people. I don't know the blow by percentage.
I don't even know if there's.
I don't even know if that's true.
But based on watching it, you can see it.
Yeah, but I don't. I don't know the actual number, but if that's true, that's true. But yeah, I'm not as high on.
Robbed. I blame.
This is
Swipe.
2 series now where his defense has not looked above average, I would say. So
I blame Swipe.
He's made some nice plays at the rim.
I think his defense is definitely above average if your average is an average guard. Yeah, he's above average. He's not all NBA. He's not Alex Caruso and Cason Wallace and Lou Dort.
But he's better than Tyler Hero. He's better than
Tyler Hero.
Sure. That's the bottom.
Okay, what's an average defender to you?
KCP, like that's an above average borderline.
Yeah, he's better than him.
I know, but I'm trying to go to the list. Nimhard is better
KCP is
than
not
him.
an average defender, first of all.
I know. I'm trying to find the line. Like, Nimhard, KCP are above average, all better. I think that the average defender, Penn, would you say like what's a Raptor that's an average defender? Like RJ Barrett. Is he an average defender for a wing?
No, he's significantly bad. Average defender.
He's better than his cousin on defense.
Who?
Wow.
He's no better than the kill. He's no better than the kill.
I think
You said he's better than the kill?
He's no
Better
better
than his
kill.
cousin. I think he's better than his cousin.
Oh,
I don't know.
dear
This was the
God,
first
hell
case
no.
of Wallace mentioning
An average defender.
He's better than Josh Hart on defense.
Emmanuel quickly is.
What has Cason Wallace been doing, Mars, this series?
There you go.
I haven't seen him.
I haven't been high on Cason Wallace in this series, but
Is he better than Nimhard in the series?
Yeah, has he been better than Nimhard?
that's what
Cason Wallace? No,
Huh?
He hasn't been better than SGA.
I agree. He doesn't look like a franchise guard. I'll say that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mark.
No.
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead, Ron.
Yaya Jello said, I love the fact that we praise players like Dame and Fox's fake numbers for ones for the bare minimum, but Kyrie wins championships and makes finals runs as the number 2, which they all are, and we criticize him.
My issue is the number 1, number 2 thing. It's like, I don't think being able to play next to other great players is a bad thing. I don't think it's ever a bad thing. Because at the end of the day, teams want to have as many great players on the team as possible. And if you can fit next to them, that's a good thing. I also think being able to be the best player on the team that has some semblance of success is also a good thing. Mm-hmm. The issue I have is De'Aaron Fox has never done that. De'Aaron Fox has gone to the playoffs once. Even if he wasn't the best player on the team, which some people do, that's a contentious point. But let's say he was. Let's say De'Aaron was the best player on that team. De'Aaron has gone to the playoffs once. Kyrie was the number 1 in Boston, and they were the number 1 seed in the East. Like, the idea that Kyrie has done nothing compared to De'Aaron Fox as a number 1 is a disgraceful opinion. That's disgraceful. So I don't understand the number 1 thing being used against Kyrie compared to De'Aaron Fox. Well, if you want to compare it to Steph Curry, even if you want to go with Dame, like, sure. Compared to De'Aaron Fox, makes no sense.
Can I synthesize all the terrible takes today? Hold on. Watch this. Okay, is Kyrie Irving over De'Aaron Fox more egregious than
Kawhi over Shaq?
Yes, that one.
That's the most egregious thing I've heard today.
Kawhi over Shaq?
Yes.
You think the gap between peak Kawhi and Shaq is
greater? You don't want to know how big. You don't want to know how big I think that gap is.
Why are you doing this?
Mars, I think that's a
like I like how y'all having an all-time comparison for Kyrie.
How I feel about Kawhi.
That's not the conversation.
Your Nicholas Claxton, Chris Bosh, Anthony Davis thing is how I feel about Kawhi Leonard and Shaq. Insert cool, nice little NBA player.
Honestly, man, I think the gap is this big. I probably shouldn't have even said anything. I think the gap is like this big. I don't think the gap is that big at all. I think Shaq in 2000 was really, really good. I don't know.
To Jay's point, we're not even talking about all-time Kyrie versus all-time.
Exactly. Y'all keep bringing stuff
it's this
Kyrie
year.
LeBron and Boston the last couple of years.
Which is another reason why I have an issue with the number 1 thing, because De'Aaron definitely wasn't his team's number 1 this year.
I think it was kind of
like that number 1 thing is
nor is he the best player in the clutch.
Is Jamal Murray better than De'Aaron Fox because he was the second guy on the championship team? No. Is Chris Middleton better than De'Aaron Fox?
He's been better in the playoffs than De'Aaron's ever been.
Come on, it's because you won a championship as the second guy on the team doesn't make you better than the next player. We're talking about
Jamal.
That wasn't a point I made.
Jamal Murray certainly has a conversation.
I'm talking about the super chat that we're talking about being the number 1 and number 2. Like that doesn't
Chill,
make.
What were you going to say, by the way? Because you're interrupted a few times.
Well, the point that Mars brought about Kyrie Irving being the number 1 on the team that went to the Eastern Conference Championship. Number 1, Kyrie Irving had missed the last month and a half of that season, and he missed the entire playoffs. They had missed the entire playoffs. I
didn't say they went to the conference. I said they were the
number 1 seed. They were the number 1 seed, but with him missing the last month and a half, they still was 6 games. They still went 16-6 without him in the lineup, and they still ended up as that with him out the lineup. So,
but chill. You do that with SGA and Tatum, though. It's not the same because they have winning record without Tatum without SGA too. Like we wouldn't do that with them and say they were somehow like
the Raptors had an amazing record without Kawhi.
That is true.
Yeah, he missed 55. I mean, he played 55 games. Sure, he didn't miss the whole playoffs. He didn't miss the last month of the season. Kyrie Irving missed the last month and a half of the season and the playoffs, and he still went to the Eastern Conference Championship. But the very next year, because you just brought up Kyrie Irving as the number one, the very next year, I mean, they got smoked by Milwaukee in the playoffs. He had his worst shooting performance in the history of his career in that performance. I think that Sacramento team, I still think that they faltered, and I think that De'Aaron Fox breaking his hand had something to do with that. I do think that they had a better shot at winning had he been healthier, but
I mean, even
when I think about both of these guys,
2019, Kyrie was the number one, and they went to the second round.
I just want to clear this up because I'm the one who brought up the number one thing. Yeah. I wasn't necessarily comparing them as number ones. What I was more so saying is that if De'Aaron Fox played next to LeBron, if De'Aaron Fox played next to Luka, if De'Aaron Fox played next to James Harden and Kevin Durant, we would talk about him a little different. That's more so the point that I was bringing up.
You wouldn't talk about him like Kyrie.
Yes. Well, I beg to differ.
Yeah, that's the obvious disagreement. That's the obvious disagreement. Yeah.
That's what the divide is. Because if he had James, if he was running with James and Pete James, I
think he's
do is be LeBron James's teammate, and you get boosted up in all-time rankings automatically.
Chris Bosh. No. That's that. Wait, Marsh.
I think the opposite is
exactly. Chris Bosh. We're told Chris Bosh is closer to Nick Claxton for being a third option on that team.
I don't know who said that. I don't know where y'all got that from. I've heard Chris Bosh is closer to Larry Bird and Magic Johnson before anybody else.
Okay, I don't know.
I think we can all agree on this. I never heard somebody talk about Nick Claxton. I don't know where y'all got that from. Just because one idiot said it on the podcast.
Defend yourself, Penn.
Okay,
defend yourself.
Mr. Zesty Jeffrey, I got some news for you. In the 2 years that Chris Bosh won a championship in Miami, what would you guess he averaged in terms of points in those 2 playoff runs?
And rebounds too. Don't leave that out. Rebounds too.
Almost a triple-double, I guess.
Y'all dudes ain't gonna get off of that shit. I swear.
I'm not.
I don't know what Chris Bosh averaged.
What does that matter? Get to the
point. In Miami. Go ahead. Get to your point, please.
He averaged 12.9 points per game. 12.9 points. I think he averaged like 8 or 9 rebounds.
Yeah. So almost a double-double.
And this is 2013 and 2014 playoffs, correct?
2012 and 13.
They won in 2014. 2014.
No, I'm asking you the 2 years.
I'm telling you the 2 years that they won.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
you're talking about 12 and 13.
12 and 13.
Okay. So between
12.9.
Okay.
So
good.
my take was that I believe that Chris Bosh is closer to Nick Claxton than he is to Anthony Davis. The point of that is Anthony Davis is that much better because ain't Anthony Davis ever averaged 12.9 points on no team. Okay, not since probably grade 5. Okay,
his rookie year, I think he might have averaged like 12.
No, I think Anthony Davis has not averaged 12.
Like I said before, when you hold Zesty Jeffrey logic, you don't have to be right. But you.
Oh, my fault. Anthony Davis is a rookie, averaged 13. My bad.
There you go. Beat the cutoff. My point is, you're not going to average 12.9. And the other part of this equation, which is very interesting, is the 2 years that they did not win the championship, Bosh averaged a lot more points. The first year with Miami, 18.9 points per game during that playoff run, and they lost in the finals. So one could conclude, at least a Chris Bosh hater might conclude, that less Bosh equaled more championships. That's my point.
Or that
the less involved he was. The less involved he was.
Back to my point, Swiper. Nobody ran around here talking about Nick Claxton is up there with Chris Bosh, but one idiot on a podcast. We never heard nobody say that before. There are memes.
Nobody said that now.
I let you speak, brother. I let you speak.
But don't misquote me. Don't misquote me.
They said you did because I know you was the idiot that said it. I just found out today you was the idiot that said it. But
you're not going to call me an idiot, blue shirt.
Okay,
I don't know who the hell you think you're talking to. You're not going to call me an idiot.
Are you the guy that thinks Chris Bosh's career is closer to Nick Claxton than Anthony Davis? Are you that guy?
Yes.
Okay,
that doesn't mean he's closer to
Back
him.
to you, Swiper. There are a bunch of memes and a bunch of people on social media who have legitimately said that if if Michael Jordan had joined Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, that is the equivalent to LeBron James playing with Bosh and Wade. So we got people legitimately out here thinking Wade and Bosh are the equivalent of Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. This Nick Claxton stuff, never heard before. I guess it only pops up in PC.
The exposer exposes again.
Oh, no,
but
it
y'all,
happened
we
on the
gotta move.
timeline, and then
Who's the
Udonis Haslam
exposer?
also called him.
What is the exposer? What the
Oh,
hell?
don't
is
even
the
worry
exposer?
about it, Pin. We got to move on to the next
They got a
super
lot of
chat.
questions for me, but I got a lot of answers. You want it? Friday night exposure with the exposer, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah,
Go,
Pin,
Oh,
get up,
you're the
Pin, get up
exposer.
there,
My
Pin, get up there and
goodness.
expose
I'm
yourself.
glad
Pin.
you heard of me. You
Get
have
up there
now
on
been
Friday
exposed
night
by the
exposure.
exposer.
Yeah,
You're
please,
welcome, sir.
Pin, I expect you there
Are you
Friday night to
okay?
expose yourself.
I've been okay. Chill. Can you please put these brothers on? Chill. Please put them on, brother.
Bro, you
Put
look
'em
like a
on.
bobblehead.
Lars knows.
bobbling your head
knows.
around.
It speaks for itself, as you were saying.
Fellas,
You heard it. You
unfortunately,
heard
we
he
don't
said,
have enough.
"You
We don't
are
have
the
enough time
expo-
today.
you're
But
the
Pin,
exposer.
if you're not going to join the exposing session Friday night, next Monday, I have a good spot for both of you guys to come right here on the panel, and we'll have 3 hours to get
Bang it
down
out.
to the bottom of everything. Next Monday, you guys accept? Next Monday it is. I'll see everybody up here.
I gotta have another conversation with this dude.
Find 19 other Zesty Jeffries because I'm looking for a 20v1 versus all Zesty Jeffries in the social media world. Go get them.
You are not
20v1.
equipped.
Go
You
get
are
'em.
not equipped
Go
to have
get
a
'em.
conversation with me, man. I don't know who you think you are, but you not equipped. Okay, and I do want to say one thing, but very quickly, and this is not about blue shirt. This definitely ain't about bobblehead up here. Y'all realize everyone keep calling Haliburton the Haliban, right?
Yes.
Y'all see the second plane just hit yesterday, right?
Yeah,
It did.
And
The second one just hit. But I will remind you,
Aces championship.
that fourth one never hit its target. America won that one. The fourth one did not reach its intended target. You're not winning that fourth game.
But sadly, there were still casualties. There were still casualties, and that's what's about to happen to OKC.
Nope.
Jake Fascio says start bench cut. Tyrese Haliburton, Trey Young, Luka Doncic.
Start Luka, bench Tyrese, cut Trey.
Wow.
Anybody else?
Why they be hating on Trey?
I'm sorry. Look at the group he's in.
Yeah, no, I got Luka, Trey, and I cut Haliburton.
Okay.
I'll just take this same order right here as it's on the screen.
Oh wow.
Anybody else?
I thought you was a Trey Young fan, but more than Haliburton. No, Ron? No?
Well, you know, when things have been flip-flopped. New information, you know. New information.
Ron, you clearly start Luka Doncic. And Trey got to go.
Okay. That makes sense. I get it.
All right. We got another super chat from Simon718. Simon said, Pacers in 6, always been Pacers in 6. This OKC team has flaws, and Slick Rick is sending Dags to the gulag and making him sniff the toilet when he's done.
Yikes.
I would be interested. I would be interested to see the Pacers win this series.
We got another super chat from
Whoa, go. Right there. Right where you just were. Swiper, do you have an agenda against SGA?
I thought I was very fair today.
I didn't hear anything.
I thought I was extremely fair. I just think we didn't bring it up, and I think if he plays better, they win. And I think he's gonna have a great game 4. I think we do this with certain people sometimes, that like if they have a bad game, we just ignore it. But we have other people have good bad games. We talk about it for 45 to an hour and a half. So I just think, SGA he might be tired excuses. I'm not saying Penn said that per se, but he just looked fatigued. And I'm like, well, in the NBA Finals, like anyway, if Kobe did that, we would be having. That's why I told you Kobe's not better than Bird combos. Something like that.
And I've heard players say in the past, I heard Anthony Edwards say it last year, I got to get in better shape. I've also heard Malone in the NBA Finals in 98. I got to find some energy. 97. I got to find some energy. It's a long season. When it starts in October and we get to June, this is a long season. Now, don't get me wrong. You in shape as much as you could possibly be in shape. But mentally, this thing is a grind. 100% it's a grind. So SGA having to deal with Memphis, and then going from Memphis to having to deal with.
They've had short series, Joe.
Yeah,
they've had short series.
But
they've
even
had a
if
long
it's
break
series,
between.
it's still like, damn, now I got to deal with these dudes.
Isn't OKC and Indiana like 600 miles from one another?
It's not that far. This is the furthest Oklahoma City has been in the playoffs. So there's a different mindset going in.
They did have 6 days off going into the series.
It's the furthest the Pacers have been too.
Sure.
But
the Pacers did go further than they did last year.
I don't think fatigue had anything to do with last night.
They went further than Oklahoma City did last year.
Yeah, they went to the conference finals.
All right, y'all. Itzhak Iris said this entire debate about the first and second options is irrelevant because neither Fox or Kyrie can be the best player on a championship team. Besides, Kyrie led Boston to 55 and 48 wins respectively as the clear-cut first option.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's the way I'm at. I just feel like De'Aaron is probably a bad example of first option over Kyrie, but I think a surprising amount of players can win as your best player on the team if you just build the team right. I don't think it's as important as other people do.
So Scottie Barnes got hope. Appreciate it. That's good.
Maybe, yeah. If you build the team,
hold on, Ron, real quick, because I've stayed out of this whole conversation because I can't add any real value to it. But I do want to say because it's a ridiculous argument, I think. But the thing about it though is in the year that we did lose in the first round, got packed up by Steph at home in Game 7. De'Aaron Fox was our first scoring option, regardless of who was the better basketball player. He was our first scoring option, and we did win 48 games that year too in the Western Conference. You know what I'm saying? I just want to point that out to that super chat right there.
At the Buzzer Sports, shout out to my man John Diesel. John Diesel said, Chris Bosh value goes way past points per game.
Cool. He averaged 1.4 blocks per game. Cry me a river. It doesn't matter. Like, my point is, he's not Anthony Davis. Relax.
He's not Nicholas Claxton.
No, he's not.
He's Chris Bosh.
Are you from Belgrade, Penn?
By way of some places, yeah. I was born in Split.
Oh.
Sorry Key said Trey better, Dub Mars, Dub Ron, Haliburton, we all the way up.
Hey, that's crazy how you two love each other because you're Serbian and he's Nigerian. Because you love Nigerians and he loves Serbians. Y'all crazy.
I actually never met a Serbian woman. I don't think I've ever been around a Serbian woman.
I ain't saying nothing about a Serbian woman. Who's talking about women?
He's talking about Jokic.
I'm talking about you and Penn.
Swipe is a player. That's the first thing came to his mind was women. Okay.
For the record, I've been around a Serbian woman in Greece. Serbian women are beautiful.
Are they tall too? Generally,
Jill is another player. He always references women.
Yes,
another player.
Serbian women are tall.
Serbian, yes.
Yeah, it's weird. Like growing up around Serbs and growing up on a basketball team, like I was consistently shorter than most of the people around me. I'm 5'11". Serbian men are
damn near
like
6'6".
Damn near 6'6". But when you go to Serbia, like the dudes that you see there, they're like almost all 6'2", 6'1".
He is almost 6 foot though. He is almost 6
almost,
foot.
Yeah, almost.
Jamal Williams sent through a members chat and said, who do y'all think Kyrie should play ones against when he's healthy? Also, are y'all going to bring back drafts during the offseason, errors, positions, all-time, etc.? Absolutely, this offseason is going to be goated. I can guarantee
by the way,
y'all that.
My team that I drafted, by the way, I swept 16-0 to win the championship because Tyrese Haliburton was my sixth man, and I had OG Anunoby and a host of other players. I think I didn't lose.
I had OG.
I had him. I drafted him for you. You were pissed about it too. And then I had OG and then Hallie off the bench.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Because Hallie was not a star. He was a role player.
We're not about to be doing a bunch of drafts. Ron not the host he once was, man.
And matter of fact, when I argued Hallie should not be a role player,
Hallie has revived me.
Well, look at his numbers.
The Pacers have revived me as a host.
Get back to
who do y'all think that Kyrie should play ones against?
De'Aaron.
Michael Beasley.
He's too small.
Did you see Michael Beasley say that he could beat Carmelo Anthony one-on-one?
But then concede that he would lose. But then concede that he would lose to KD. I appreciate that.
Wait,
I think Melo and Beasley would be.
I don't think he'd beat Melo either.
He said
I think Melo would be in a league game.
He said the only person that was Bam.
Hey, chill. Let it not be make it, take it. Melo's winning 11-0. Like he's not missing.
See here,
mid-range
what
not
is
missing.
he talking about, bro? Like,
what do you know? He's not. Melo's the best mid-range shooter one-on-one I've ever seen in my life. Ever seen.
Like he's not missing.
Shout out to y'all. He ain't missing. Have you seen Melo play in the Drew League or anything like that? No, you haven't. You don't watch ball like that. Turn on your YouTube highlights.
You're not 11. Whatever, man.
Gunny sent through a members chat and said, but LeBron 07 was gonna beat this Pacers team.
We'll never know.
Who said that?
Who said that?
I don't even know what this is.
There was a lot of people saying that 07 Cavs team would beat this Pacers team. I remember I ran a poll on Twitter about it because
who's hating on the Pacers that bad? Lord have mercy.
Well, hold on.
Who's hating on LeBron James that bad?
That's not hate.
07 LeBron.
Did y'all see what he did to
shoot?
Detroit?
Cavs?
Did y'all see
Talking
what
about
he did to
LeBron.
Detroit?
We're talking about the Cavs.
Did you see what he did to Detroit?
I saw what he did to Cleveland.
LeBron was the Cavs.
And they lost.
I'm
Are
saying,
you-
but
No,
it's
I'm tired of
Yo,
acting like the Gal kid
that's
wasn't an
not
all-star.
disrespecting the Pacers, though. That's just saying that
They have Boobie Gibson.
That's a
Keisha
Hold
Cole's
on.
husband.
Regardless of who they have.
Yeah,
on the
Boobie
team,
Gibson was hooping in that game 6 against Detroit.
he went to
Yeah, he
the-
was.
They
Shout
also had
out.
Big Z.
Hey, but chill, I was over Boobie. Once I found out Keisha Cole had
Big
married
Z
Boobie
game
Gibson,
played off
I
the court.
I was off Boobie. I liked Boobie before that moment, but then once I found out he married Keisha Cole, it was over.
Big Z gonna last about
Because you
11
wanted
minutes.
Yes.
They go to play and swipe.
2005.
But how are they stopping him?
Somebody done took swipe a lady. He upset.
Y'all
I
see-
was
Y'all
at 15
see-
years
y'all see
old. You
what-
better believe I was
Y'all
pissed.
see what J Dub was
They
just
don't have a good
doing
matchup for him.
to
Austin is not a good
old
matchup
boy?
for Jonas
Y'all seen
Augustus.
what J Dub was doing to old boy
He needs to be.
yesterday?
He's gonna play them off the court.
Jimmy Smith. Yes.
All
He
right.
was dogging these
All right.
Yeah, he was killing these
YSN Money
He
sent
gonna-
through
he
a
gonna-
membership.
What Brown gonna do to him?
Mhm.
YSN Money said Pacers want all this smoke. Probably one of them ones. Top 5 lefties of all time? Question mark. Shout out to y'all. I fuck with y'all heavy.
Bill Russell, David Robinson, James Harden,
Kenny Anderson,
Chris Bosh?
LeBron James.
Manu
Chris Mullin.
Ginobili.
Chris Mullin.
Better than Dave Cowens?
No. I'll take Dave Cowens over Chris Mullin.
Oh, man, I'm
Damon
like 10.
Stoudemire. We're gonna start with Damon Stoudemire and end with Lamar Odom.
Bill Russell, James Harden, and David Robinson, I think, are the clear-cut top 3.
Yes.
And then
Then
Damon
I would go.
Stoudemire.
Then I would go Dave Cowens, Manu Ginobili, probably as the rest.
Chris Bosh comes in. Chris Bosh is close in that. Chris Bosh, Lamar Odom, Kenny Anderson.
And shout out Isaiah Thomas
Left-handed?
too.
No.
They damn near average 30.
No.
Giving everybody lefty buckets. But all right, y'all.
yeah, Isaiah Thomas, yeah.
Baxter became a YouTube member. Shout out to Bastard. 8 Gates Lee sent through a members chat and said, where Ox at? Told these boys about TJ.
McConnell.
Shout out to TJ, man.
Yep.
I love TJ McConnell.
That was a great game.
Shout out Keisha Cole too, bro. 43
Yo,
years
did you
old.
guys include David Robinson?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
said
he was
David
number
Robinson.
3.
He did. He said Dave Robinson. Yeah, he did.
Bill Russell.
I actually had him number 2.
Yeah, Ron
I said Bill
is a
Russell, David
polyamorous
Robinson.
person. Yes, we know this. Polyamorous. He has sister wives. Yes, we know this.
Ooh, Michael Reds. Michael
So
Reds.
we have
is a
2
tough
exposures
lefty.
up here.
Patino, man.
That's okay. I'm gonna leave it alone. Okay, let's move. Let's go.
Nick Van
It's just
Exel
me.
stuff.
You're in a relationship.
No, I know what it means, but I didn't want to get. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I got.
No,
it right.
Ron is that's Ron. Whatever you're thinking about,
Nick Van
that's
Exel.
him.
Nick Van
Is it,
Exel
no,
better than
wait, is it polygyny or polyamorous? Because there's a difference.
Polyamorous. He's polyamorous. He's polyronous.
Oh, so
Kingster became
macaroni.
Kingster not only became a Hall of Famer, but he sent through a members chat and said underdogs every playoff match and exceeding expectations. Definitely a historical run if they win.
I don't think they should have been underdogs against the Bucks or the Knicks.
Cavs?
The Cavs, I think they were the underdogs. And that's obviously not as assuming the injuries that the Cavs ended up getting, but I think they were the underdogs and they overcame that. But the other two, I don't think they should have been the underdogs if they were. They were clearly better, in my opinion.
Nick Van Exel a better lefty than De'Aaron Fox?
That's a good lefty.
Nah, he no better. He no better than De'Aaron. I actually forgot about De'Aaron, which is weird because we spoke about De'Aaron a whole bunch today.
Yes, we did.
And Jalen Brunson too.
Oh my god, Jalen Brunson's top 5.
So Ginobili's out.
Jalen
Better
Brunson
than
top 6.
Ginobili?
Jalen Brunson top 6. Jalen Brunson top 6. Jalen Brunson top 6.
He's getting up there.
Jalen Brunson is tough.
Sent
That's a
to a
good
members
question.
chat and said, how are the Pacers considered more experienced than OKC?
Pascal has championship DNA. Rick Carlisle, championship DNA.
Tally more Eastern Conference Finals games than
Oh, but they got Caruso,
What,
right? They got
2?
Caruso.
conference
Caruso.
finals.
Thomas
Caruso
Bryant.
has 2.
Don't
Last
forget
year,
about
last
Thomas
year,
Bryant.
last year, last year,
And Thomas
last year.
Bryant has
2 last year.
Wait,
And then
Thomas
that was all of his
Johnson?
experience coming into
And
this.
on the bench for 2 more. And practices included. And shoot around.
You're right. Oh, Zion. Oh my god. That's some lefty. Yeah, that's
You forgot about Ben Simmons.
I did not.
Matter of fact,
DeMontis
Nick Young
Sabonis?
has more finals experience than the whole OKC team. For the
Lenny
most part.
Wilkins?
Yeah, he wouldn't make it.
Oh, you talking about finals experience? I thought you meant
Artist Gilmore?
Melo Williams sent through a
Come
members
on,
chat
man.
and
That's
said the
some-
2016-17 Warriors
Oh my god.
versus the
Warriors.
Cursed Thunder.
The
Best
Warriors.
of 7.
The Warriors.
Not Thunder. Warriors in 6.
If that.
Nobody's
At this
doing
The
that.
Warriors sweep these boys.
Ain't nobody beating that team.
They're Mars. It's not experience, but there is something too. They know exactly what they need to do every single possession. The Warriors do. I think that would be a hard thing for them to overcome consistently.
Swipe 17 Warriors isn't even a serious series, bro.
I mean, it could be 4 for sure.
That's not even serious.
That series is what Penn thought that OKC was going to do.
When I say 6, it doesn't mean I think the series. I think that could be a lopsided 6-game series.
Steph Curry gonna look Penn in the face and say, "This is what a real superstar guard look like." Split out.
I have seen too many people.
Are you suggesting that Shea is not a real superstar?
I'm saying what you said. How about you?
Shea we all agree Shea's the 3rd best player in the series, right? We all agree on that.
John Livingston is taking all his minutes.
Yeah, Shea's the 3rd best player in that series.
Yeah,
I mean, Klay Thompson's around.
Ooh, I don't know about that, man. Man, look what SGA has done this year. Y'all keep slipping on it, bro. I keep telling you.
In this series, he's the 3rd best player.
No, and
they played the 2017 Warriors.
They played the Warriors.
Oh, they played the 2017 Warriors. Yes.
Wait, who he better than?
He's not better than KD. He's not better than Curry. He's not.
He's better than Curry.
Respect him.
He's better than who?
He's better than both of them, to be honest with you.
He's better than who?
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bro, did y'all see what SGA did this year? Or we just
we did.
Keep ignoring it? Come on, y'all. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Yes, we are.
30, 50, 5 and 6. Like, I mean, what are we talking about?
But here's the thing,
they're dropping like flies.
Going into this series.
I gotta go in a couple moments myself.
Yo, I heard that I heard this rumor, not a rumor, as actually science has proven that wearing a lot of polyester creates potentially cancer. I'm now realizing it might create brain damage.
Shout out to polyester and shout out to everything else that's poly. Reggie Lewis became a YouTube member.
I'm not kidding. Wear cotton, guys. It's good for you.
Top 5 DOA became a YouTube member. Antoine El Host Ron sent through a members chat and said, "Can we have the SGA blow by percentage talks at 69% so far?" Where they
he's getting cooked off the dribble. I don't know what to tell you. He's getting.
It started last year with Luka in the finals.
Second spectrum.
That was the first time I heard it, Jay. Last year in the finals when they talked about Luka.
Does the NBA track that?
Yes.
Because I'm looking for it now. I don't see it nowhere here.
I think Luka was at like 80 something percent, something like that.
Is it hustle? Is it in hustle? No, it's not in hustles.
Nope.
Look, hey, if you gave me $1 million, I might not be able to find it. So I can't tell you.
It's one of those obscure Mars stats.
Bro, if I gave you $1 million, you could hire someone for $20 to find it. What's wrong with you?
Bilal Century said Kyrie averaged 27 on 50, 40, 93 in the 2016 finals and hit a top 3 shot in league history. Then averaged 29 in the next finals. Last year averaged 28 against the Clippers and 28 against the Wolves. To say Fox would do any of that next to Bron or Luka is cap.
Well, we don't know.
Once again, we're just talking about buckets.
Yeah.
And that's been the whole thing with Kyrie. Yes, he scores better than him. We understand that. It's more efficient. We understand that.
Jeffrey Logic.
Your Highness Charles said, Throat James Kingdom up here making jokes. What's going on today? Okay. Alan L said TJ McBuckets is greater than your favorite PG. And shout out to Halle Bin Laden.
Can you imagine somebody calling Haliburton that in the mid 2000s? That would have been so crazy.
We'd be canceled, Jay. We'd be canceled. We can't do that, man.
That's crazy.
Yo, I've seen Indiana fans making jokes about the Oklahoma City bomb. I'm just saying that shit went viral.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
I've seen that too.